for this weekend's running of the Indy's Frozen Custard 400. It is already the 12th race of the NASCAR Xfinity Series season as we go to yet the next mile-and-a-half racetrack on the schedule. Last weekend at the Super Speedway at Talladega, Austin Hill was able to get his third win of the season, most in the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2025 as he tries to go for back-to-back wins today. He will be starting on the pole for this race based off of practice and qualifying, which was supposed to take place yesterday afternoon, getting rained out. No rain in the forecast, though, here today. We will get all 300 miles and 200 laps of today's scheduled distance in without any interruption. And as for more, we will go through the starting lineup for the beginning of this race here today as cars are just about to hit the racetrack and the parade laps are beginning before the start of this event. Austin Hill, as mentioned already, last week's winner at Talladega, three-time winner already this season, is on the pole with Justin Allgaier starting in the second spot. Allgaier comes in as the points leader and 2 wins for his own self this year. Jesse Love still sitting with the 1 win at Daytona this season alongside Jeb Burton, who has scored 40-plus points in the last 2 races so far this season. Looking for 3 straight today as he starts up in the top 5. His cousin, Harrison Burton, starts on the inside of row 3 behind him alongside Sheldon Creed, who's got the home sponsor for today's race on the hood of his race car. Sam Mayer with Matt DiBenedetto line up in row number 4, and row 5 will be Daniel Dye and Anthony Alfredo. Blaine Perkins with Taylor Gray make up row 6. Behind them in row 7 will be the rookies of Carson Kvapil and Nick Sanchez. Nick Lights and Dean Thompson make up row 8. Row 9, Leland Honeyman and Brennan Poole. Ryan Ellis, Kyle Larson in row 10. Larson, the only Cup regular in the field today, replacing the injured Connor Zilich, who got a crash last weekend on the final lap of the race at Talladega. Lower back injury, the reason for Zilich's absence today. Again, Larson will be making his 3rd Xfinity start of the season. Brandon Jones and Sammy Smith will make up row number 11. In row 12, Christian Eckes with Josh Bilicki. Jeremy Clements and Kyle Segan, row 13. Row 14 for Riley Herbst and Mason Maggio. Row number 15, Josh Williams with Chris Wright. Ryan Sieg, Mason Massey in row 16. Corey Day making his 2nd Xfinity start of the season on the inside of row 17 alongside Parker Retzlaff. William Sawalich and Catherine Legg in row 18. 3rd straight week we've seen Legg in an Xfinity race. And then Joey Gase and Garrett Smithley will round out the field in row number 19 all by themselves back there. And that will be our full 38-car field for today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race. I did get the screen widened. I don't know why I wasn't able to do that for the first 2 live commentary streams this weekend, but my phone is allowing me to rotate the screen to the side this time around for whatever reason. Appreciate everybody tuning in the chat. Obviously, this is, again, a new setup for this weekend. If you haven't tuned in for any of the live commentary streams so far, with the Truck Series race last night at Texas under the lights, and earlier this morning we have had NASCAR Cup Series practice and qualifying. Congratulations again to, obviously, Carson Hocevar getting his first career pole in the NASCAR Cup Series. He'll be starting out front tomorrow. We will have race highlights from the grandstands for tomorrow's Cup Series race, as that will be the 2nd consecutive race I'll be at, and it'll be the 3rd consecutive Sunday without live commentary on a Sunday, considering they were off for Easter, and then I was at the race last week at Dega, Texas tomorrow, but we'll be back when NASCAR will be headed to Kansas Speedway next weekend. And as for the schedule for next week, I'll obviously keep you updated in the community tab when we get later into next weekend's time, I guess, as we get closer to the Kansas schedule. I do believe the Xfinity Series is off next week, and it will be Truck and Cup only. So our next live commentary stream, I do believe, will be Saturday. Checking the schedule just to make sure of that as of right now. Trucks will be Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And I do believe the Xfinity Series is off. Yep, Xfinity will be off for 2 weeks, actually. So 2 weeks off for the Xfinity Series. They won't be racing until Memorial Day weekend at Charlotte after today's race. So a long hiatus for them, as they have ran the most races of any of the top 3 series so far this year. They have yet to have a week off, and they will get 2 of them consecutively. 33 race schedule for the Xfinity Series. We'll highlight the points standings coming into today's race while we're still awaiting the start of this one. Justin Allgaier, as I mentioned already, is currently the points leader. He's got a 79-point cushion over Austin Hill, who comes in second. Third place in the point standings would be Sam Mayer, who's 102 points back, 109 for Jesse Love, and Carson Kvapil, 143 points back in fifth. Connor Zilisch, who will miss today's race, will likely still be playoff eligible when he gets the waiver. Whenever he does return to racing, he did have a win already this season, locking him into the playoffs. He's currently 6th in the regular season standings. Brandon Jones is 7th, Sammy Smith 8th, Jeb Burton 9th, and Sheldon Creed rounds out the top 10. The drivers locked into the Xfinity Series playoffs with wins. We have 6 different Xfinity Series regulars with a win already this season in the first 11 races. 3 for Austin Hill, 2 for Justin Allgaier, 1 apiece for Jesse Love, Connor Zilisch, Brandon Jones, and Sammy Smith. The drivers who are above the current cut line of the 12 that will make the playoffs on points, 6 of them ahead would be Sam Mayer, followed by Carson Kvapil, Jeb Burton, Sheldon Creed, Ryan Sieg, and then Harrison Burton currently has the final playoff spot if the playoffs were to begin today. 9 points ahead of Daniel Dye for Harrison Burton on that cut line. Nick Sanchez just behind that, 14th. Taylor Gray, 15th in points. Dean Thompson, 16th. That rounds out the point standings, at least for those at the very front of the field. And obviously you guys aren't going to be able to see the scrolling Tron at the top of the screen like you would usually see for these live commentary streams. Again, different setup today. No camera will be on for this one as well. Kaylee Slayton, Tim Fowler, Tim Brown, welcome to the stream, everybody. Live race commentary. I can't show the race for visual purposes, copyright reasons, but live commentary on the stream with my own throughout the course of this 200-lap event. Pace car heads to pit road, and again, it'll be Austin Hill with Justin Allgaier on the front row for this one. Hill elects the inside line for the start. Green flag is in the air, and we're underway in the Indy's Frozen Custard 300 at Texas. Austin Hill easily clear for the race lead into the first turn, side by side for second between Jesse Love as he slides up the racetrack, and never mind, he's going to immediately move into the outside lane and lose some ground on the 2 cars that are now ahead of him. Austin Hill had a bit of a slip up in the back half of the corner, as well as Justin Allgaier blows past him on the outside lane. And despite not qualifying on the pole, it'll be Allgaier to lead lap 1. Meanwhile, caution is out already. The 71 of Ryan Ellis is around. Turn 3 entry, opening lap of the race. Caution flag is out already. And so Allgaier will lead the first lap under yellow flag. And that did not take long. I would imagine that there was likely contact going into turn 3 that caused for Ellis's car to spin. We'll have to wait and see a replay just to verify. It took place towards the back half of the field. Yeah, 3 wide entering turn 3. Christian Eckes in the 16 was the car underneath of Ellis. Didn't look like Eckes had a lot of room in that bottom lane. Got crowded just a bit. Sammy Smith might not have given Ellis enough room on that third lane on the outside as well. They were actually 4 wide on the back straightaway. It looked like Ellis backed out of the gas to let those guys go in front of him, and then he was still in the middle 3 wide and ran out of real estate. So again, opening lap going to be completed under caution. Justin Allgaier, after starting second, leads the opening lap of the race. Hill, who started on the pole, is currently in position number 2. The race is currently airing on CW, or CW Sports, for those of you wondering for visual purposes where you can watch today's race. So Justin Allgaier, Austin Hill, 1-2 at the front of the field. Then you got Jesse Love, Harrison Burton just behind them. Jeb Burton, Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed, Matt DiBenedetto, Anthony Alfredo, Daniel Dye, then Nick Sanchez and Taylor Gray, the top dozen. We had 11 cautions in last night's Truck Series race, which was only a originally scheduled 250-mile race. They went 7 laps past the scheduled distance with 2 overtimes. Slick racetrack because of just how fast the big corner speeds are in general, despite the fact that there is not a lot of tire wear because of the grip in the surface itself, which was repaved less than 10 years ago. So we're probably going to see quite a bit of strategy. We do see more tire fall off at the Xfinity Series most weekends when the Cup, Truck, and Xfinity Series are all in attendance at the same track for that particular weekend. It's just the way the rules package is with these cars. Not a lot of downforce, a lot of slipping and sliding in general. Maybe a lower skill level for the drivers. A lot of lack of experience in younger drivers in these Xfinity fields as well compared to Cup. One of those Cup regulars, though, Kyle Larson, in the field today. It's announced on Thursday, I believe, is when I seen that Larson is going to be running this race here this afternoon, again in replacement for Connor Zilic, who is out with a lower back injury following the last lap crash at Talladega a week ago. Bama in Philippines, welcome to the stream. Should be a great race. I think so. As long as it doesn't turn into a wreck fest. We've seen that a couple times for the Xfinity Series this year. Most cautions in a single race for the Truck Series this season came last night at Texas when they, again, had 11 cautions. 7 of those were in the first 64 laps of the race. They had 3 cautions for incident in Stage 3, but that were all in the final 20 laps. They did have a green flag run of 60 laps, and they actually had green flag pit stops because of that long green flag run in Stage 3 before the late cautions. Winner of that one was Corey Heim as he picked up his 3rd win of the Truck Series season. So, again, congratulations to him as well. And once more, Carson Hocevar on the pole for tomorrow's Cup Series race, if you're wondering who had gotten the pole earlier this afternoon. I'm debating between taking either Kyle Larson or William Byron for the win tomorrow, and I think I'm going to take Kyle Larson. I think he is going to be my safe play. The extra track time, he's won both Cup races so far this season when he's ran an Xfinity or a truck race so far this year, so I'm going to go with the extra track time. He's ran well there in recent years. Hendrick Motorsports has won 3 of the last 4 Cup races at Texas, so give me Kyle Larson. If he doesn't win, it'll probably be William Byron who qualified 2nd. Larson will be starting 4th on race day tomorrow. As far as today goes, though, he is starting in the 20th place position. As we scroll down our leaderboard a little bit, just on the opening start of the race, he's up 3 spots to 17th already. Favorite exercise for Anthony Alfredo on the Race Fit Health Report for this weekend. He's our driver spotlight. Just Press least favorite is hamstring curls. Interesting fact there. His nickname is Fast Pasta, so go figure his favorite meal would have to include pasta in it. The Italian way. One car scraping the wall off of turn 4 just ahead of the spin that we had seen through the center of the corner. The 91 car had also gone around in a spin off the exit of turn 4, so it's like we had multiple crashes at the same time. 91 being driven by Josh Bilicki. Not sure who the car on the outside wall was exactly. It might have been Dean Thompson because he lost quite a few spots from where he qualified to where he is now back in 36th. But all 38 cars that started the race are still towards the front of the field. Christian Eckes just came back down onto pit road after he had made contact with Ryan Ellis, causing the spin on the opening lap getting into turn 3. On lap 6 under caution and have yet to complete a green flag lap here today. Should be getting the restart very shortly. Eckes started 23rd, and now he's all the way at the tail end of the field. Already wasn't a great start for him based off of his finish last week in Talladega. Again, with qualifying being rained out based off of the metric system that NASCAR uses, which combines owner's points, driver's points, fastest lap from last race, as well as the last race finish, dictates the qualifying order every weekend. And because they did not qualify, the qualifying order was the start of the race here today. And we had a competition caution at lap 20 in the truck race yesterday. I didn't see anything on the race analysis in the pre-race as to whether or not they were supposed to have a competition caution for this race here today for the Xfinity Series as well. I'd imagine it'd be at or around lap 20 or 25 if we do see one. You have to help me out in the chat if you had seen anything on that in the pre-race. Green flag back in the air. Somebody clipped the grass on the front stretch, getting up to speed, and we got a crash into turn one again as a result. And it looks like Kyle Larson potentially, no, not Larson. Looked like the 88 was sliding. I think it might have been the 70 of Leland Honeyman instead. The 70 and the 07. It's Leland Honeyman and Nick Lights, who are running 18th and 19th on the restart. They go for a spin. And we have 2 cautions in the first 7 laps, and we have still not completed a green flag lap. And if that tells you anything, that means we're in store for a long one here this afternoon. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Just so Allgaier's got the fastest lap of the race, and he hasn't even had a green flag lap yet. He did hold on to the lead on the restart again. I did see somebody clip the grass, and then there was a stack up because somebody else just behind that wasn't getting going. Nick Lights looked like he might have either missed a shift or something broke on the restart that he just couldn't keep up with the cars in front of him. And then Honeyman ended up getting turned by Sammy Smith, which then right rear hooked Lights into the outside wall into the first turn, sparking that 2 to 3 car incident. Sloppy start to the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Andy's Frozen Custard 300. Trying to get all they can with these restarts. Well, it's not working out well for him, I'll tell you that much. This one just looked like the 07 just couldn't get going and nowhere to go for the cars just in line behind him. Grass to the inside, cars in a wall to the outside, and just kind of trapped there. We've seen restart cautions like that in the past. Just coincidental with the fact that we didn't even get a green flag run on the opening lap of the race as well. Some nose damage to the 8 of Sammy Smith. It looks like it's just above the radiator, so that's good, but aerodynamically they're going to have to put some bare bond down on the nose right around where the crest of the hood is as well, so very easy for air to get underneath there. And could end up resulting in the hood popping up on that number 8 machine. Had a couple of incidences take place last night because of a driver clipping the grass in the second kink of the dog leg. Gio Ruggiero had a vicious impact into the outside wall last night. Brandon Jones involved in that, got sandwiched against the wall and against the Ruggiero number 17 truck as well. Chandler Smith piled in just behind. Or sorry, not Chandler Smith. Chandler Smith got in a later crash in that race. Double-digit amount of drivers DNF from the truck race. 32 started, and I believe 11 of them failed to make it to the finish of the 11 cautions. We only have 9 likes on the stream so far. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Our goal will be to get to 50 on today's live commentary stream for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Texas Motor Speedway. While we're under caution for the second time already, we'll take our first break. You're listening live on KRC Racing at Texas. Wonder why they keep clipping the grass. I think it's just young drivers and trying to push for everything they have. The combination of who keeps hitting the grass, and Giro did it twice last night. The second one bit him. The first one, he got loose, lost a spot or two, regathered himself back in line. The second one, Splitter dug in with the rain that they had earlier in the day. It could still be damp down there. They've had no rain today, but they had quite a few thunderstorms roll through in the afternoon yesterday leading up to the race time. There we go. We got a couple more likes there in the last couple of minutes. Thank you for that, everybody. Again, if you're new to the channel, we do live commentary streams like this every NASCAR race weekend for Truck, Xfinity, and Cup races, as well as Cup practice and qualifying. Usually the camera's on screen. Usually we have a different leaderboard and stats scrolling across the top of the screen. Can't do a lot of that, and a large part of that is just because I'm on the road and don't have the resources necessary compared to what I have back at home. I will be back at home in the middle of this upcoming week, so plenty of time before next weekend's NASCAR racing at Kansas Speedway. We will have 3 live commentary streams next weekend, ranging from Truck Series racing on Saturday night at 7:30 Eastern. A couple hours before that, we'll go live for NASCAR Cup Series practice and qualifying at Kansas, and then the Cup Series race on Sunday. Again, Xfinity Series will be off for the next 2 weeks. While Truck and Cup will have full display at Kansas and North Wilkesboro for the next 2 weeks. The All-Star race obviously coming up for North Wilkesboro. Slow start to this one here today. 2 cautions in the first 7 laps and yet to complete a green flag lap with the first 2 yellows. Turn 3, lap 1, and then turn 1, lap 7. As the field was getting up to speed at the timing of both of those crashes. One lead change in the early going, which would have been Justin Allgaier on the opening lap, taking the lead from the pole sitter, Austin Hill. My pick was Kyle Larson to win the race today, no surprise. You can vote for who you think is going to win today's race. I did get the chat poll up before the start of the stream today, unlike last night during the truck race, so we do have 27 votes already. 56% taking Kyle Larson for the win. Justin Allgaier at 26% of the votes. Somebody other than Allgaier, Larson, or Austin Hill for the win has 11%. Austin Hill was 7% of the votes so far. And again, that will close at the end of Stage 2 per usual on these live commentary streams. Again, usual setup will be back next weekend, but as far as the commentary side of things go, all that is the same for what you hear this week compared to what you'll be hearing in weeks to come. Cup Series action will have race highlight videos from the grandstands for tomorrow afternoon since I'll be at the race rather than the commentary that you will be listening to like today. As the green flag is in the air and the leaders roll through turns 1 and 2, we'll see if we can get a green flag lap in this time. Justin Allgaier is all clear out the exit of turn 2 with Austin Hill. Almost made contact rolling through the center of the corner with that 21 car. Already fanning out in the middle of the pack to 3 and nearly 4 wide, entering turn 3 a little bit further back. Mostly double wide through the center of 3 and 4 for those that decide to race side by side still. Single file in the top 5 or 6 positions ahead. Allgaier still has the fastest lap of the race as we complete the opening lap, and we finally get our first green flag lap in at lap 13. Allgaier's already got a half a second lead over Austin Hill on the restart, a 1.1 second lead to Jesse Love in third. Sheldon Creed is in the 4th place position, 1.2 seconds back, and Sam Mayer 1.7 seconds off the lead, rounds out the top 5. Pass for 3rd place being made there. Sheldon Creed gets by Jesse Love through turns 3 and 4. Really on entry into 3, had him cleared after a great exit to turn 2. First up to speed lap complete, and it's also the fastest by Justin Allgaier. Showing a replay of the restart. It looked like Jesse Love and Austin Hill made a slight bit of contact. Love was on the inside of Hill, getting off of turn 2, clipped his left rear. Both of those RCR Chevys continue on in a forward direction. No major damage either. On-screen battle between Matt DiBenedetto, who started in the top 10, and Taylor Gray, who's right there with him. That battle's currently for 9th. Matty D had a top 10 finish last weekend at Talladega in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Was actually up in contention for the win in the closing laps of that race for Viking Racing. And small team there, having a great performance. A lot of DNFs because of mechanical failures for that 99 team this year, so good that they were able to not only make it to the end of the race last weekend at Talladega, but get a great finish to show for. They had great speed throughout that final stage, especially racing up and contending for the win in that lead pack. We'll see what they can do in a mile and a half today at Texas to try to keep the momentum going forward for them. Change for position that last lap. It looks like Nick Sanchez up inside the top 5 and got by Sam Mayer. And now he puts the battle for fourth to Jesse Love. Kyle Larson also moving forward, gets by Anthony Alfredo for 12th place after starting 20th, but didn't have a green flag lap until just a handful of them ago. Third start for Kyle Larson in the NASCAR Xfinity Series this season. He has led the most laps of anybody in the NASCAR Xfinity Series this year, despite only running 2 races. Over 400 laps led for him coming into the day today, although Justin Allgaier was within about 60 laps behind him, and Allgaier leading all 17 laps so far could have a chance to catch Larson for the most laps led of the season. Allgaier does have by far the most of the Xfinity Series regulars, as he has finished inside the top 10 all but just a couple times so far this season. I believe 7 top 5 finishes for Justin Allgaier on the year as well. Check the standings on my laptop real quick. I got 8 top 5 finishes for Justin Allgaier, so I was one off. 8 top 5s in the first 11 races, which is why Allgaier has as big of a points lead as he does, 79 points. You can only score upwards of 61 points in a full race. That is if you win both stages, win the race, and get the new Xfinity Fastest Lap Award, which is a new addition to the points format at the start of this season. And as of right now, Justin Allgaier is leading in Stage 1. He's led every lap, and he's had the fastest lap. So far on pace to doing that, but Larson is definitely quickly on the move as he tries to break into the 11th place position, putting a battle up with Brandon Jones. And he's got a couple other cars just in front of him. Also for position, Harrison Burton and Taylor Gray are very close to the windshield out of the front of the 88. Jones side by side as he gets to the outside of Taylor Gray off the exit of the corner. Gray needs a good run. He's 15th in points in JGR equipment. William Sawalich also in JGR equipment, well outside the top 20 in points. And he's coming in off a DNF last weekend at Talladega as well, as he fell even further behind in the point standings. So both of those rookies not having a good go at it when you would consider this to be probably the best equipment in the Xfinity Series field through recent years. Eric Almirola does have a win for JGR in a part-time effort, though he's only ran 4 races so far this season. Almirola not in the field today. Riley Herbst is actually wheeling the 19 car. Another spin. Caution is out again. And for the second time, it's the 91 that will go around. Josh Bilicki spun at the tail end after the caution came out on lap 1. And now he spins off of turn 4 yet again. This time slides through the grass. Didn't tear the nose of the car up, so that's good. He will be able to continue on. But again, second incident involving Bilicki. And we're only on lap 22. Yeah, Leland Honeyman right behind him. Looked like he might have had to lift through the center of the corner because Honeyman caught him quick. Barely grazes the left rear. If he did, he might have even gotten arrow loose. Whatever the case is, the 70 causing the 91 to spin, and we are under caution again. So 3 yellows in the first 22 laps of today's race at Texas. We know that the stage cautions will be at lap 45 and lap 90, as each stage 1 and stage 2 are 45 laps apiece. Stage 3 will make up the 110 lap distance to the checker. And with the lack of tire fall off that Texas Motor Speedway brings, we'll see if we get our first pit stops of the race. I'd imagine some drivers will pit, but I don't know that everybody at the very front of the field is going to hit pit road, as we still have half of the opening stage yet to go. Pit road should be open this time by. And it looks like the leaders are staying out for the most part. Jesse Love is going to come in. So Love is going to pit from 5th place. We got a couple other cars just behind him. Matt DiBenedetto on the pit road. Harrison Burton, 3 of the top 10 are in. Ryan Sieg outside the top 10 is also on the pit road with quite a few others in the back half of the field to follow. I would imagine should be 4 tire stops for pretty much all of these teams. I think it's going to be tough for Jesse Love to get back in the top 5, even with the fresher tires. But if he was slipping back like he was at the start, might as well make some major adjustment changes while you can early. And get the extra pit stop to maybe be able to do so. No contest for Justin Allgaier at the very front of the field so far. And with 3 of the top 10 drivers hitting pit road, we'll go through the updated leaderboard here when the leaders get to the start-finish line, which they just did. So Justin Allgaier will be the leader on the restart. Then you got Austin Hill in second, Sheldon Creed third, Nick Sanchez fourth, Sam Mayer in fifth, Jeb Burton sixth, Brandon Jones seventh, Kyle Larson eighth, Taylor Gray ninth, Anthony Alfredo up in the top 10. Then you got Riley Herbst and Corey Day in the top dozen, just outside the top 10 for the next restart. So 2 Cup regulars in the field today. Again, Larson and Herbst. Herbst was also originally scheduled to run this race, where Larson is a late sub again for the injured Connor Zilich. John Barber, welcome to the stream. Why Sawalch is in the seat instead of Heim, I'll never know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We've seen Heim run for Sam Hunt Racing part-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, both last season and this year. He's ran some races, but yeah. Sawalch outside the top 20 in points. You'd like to think Corey Heim would probably be in a playoff spot right now, and I don't know for sure until he's actually in the car, but Sawalch only ever ran part-time in the Truck Series, where Corey Heim is winning the most races each of the last couple seasons, making it to the Championship 4, and here he is again for his third year in the Truck Series full-time, and he's already got 3 wins in the first 8 races. And easily could have a few more than that if things had gone his way on the luck side of things in the late going of a couple races where he led the most laps and wasn't able to get the finish line first. I was talking earlier during the practice and qualifying stream for the NASCAR Cup Series, and I stated that I was going to have a diecast showing for today's stream. I'm actually just going to save those and keep the camera off for when we get to the end of Stage 1, Stage 2 today, so I'll show them off. I got a couple of new ones at Talladega last weekend, and if I find something that catches my eye at Texas tomorrow, I'll probably end up adding another 1 or 2 that'll show off here within the next couple of weeks on the channel. Like counter's up to 21. We've got about 70 people in the chat, so be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. If you are a returning viewer of the channel, you would probably know that this isn't the usual setup, but again, I am on the road. Currently in Houston, Texas. I'll be headed to the Texas Motor Speedway tomorrow and then back home to Ohio pretty much the Monday after the race from there. Should get back sometime Tuesday. Long vacation. Hit the road last Saturday. Had 20 and a half hours of driving over the course of less than 48 hours. And we'll be back at it again here within the next 24. As far as today's race goes, they are getting set for the restart. And we'll get back to racing here very shortly. Brett Whitesides, Irina Sayre, welcome into the stream. Mike H., welcome. Ready for the 7? Have a safe trip. Thank you. Allgaier definitely off to a good start, but Larson continues to click through the field. Lights are out on the pace car. They'll be going green this time by. Allgaier's elected the inside lane yet again. Several times we have seen drivers on the outside lane in the truck race last night be able to get to the lead first, but we haven't seen anybody on the outside lane other than Allgaier in the initial start. With all the restarts we've seen in the early going of this race, get to the lead as well. Gareth, welcome to the stream. All right, pace car makes the huge left-hand turn to pit road, and we'll have exactly 20 laps to go in Stage 1 when we go green this time by. Green flag is in the air. Good restart on the outside of row 1 for Austin Hill. He'll stay door-to-door with Allgaier getting into the first turn, but Allgaier just sails it off so much deeper. And for the second time, Hill just can't get through the center of 1 and 2 very good. This time on the outside lane, and that allows for the car underneath him to get by and up to second, and that driver being Sheldon Creed in the 00. Up to third is Nick Sanchez. Austin Hill finally gets himself in line, but falls to 4th. 2 positions lost for the pole sitter yet again. As they exit turn 4, they will complete a green flag lap this time around. Single file through most of the top 10 following this restart. Justin Allgaier is in the lead. Sheldon Creed second. Nick Sanchez in third. Austin Hill fourth. And Sam Mayer rounds out the top 5. Lap 27 of 45 in stage 1. Lap 27 of 200 entirely in this race. Jesse Love in the middle of the pack after hitting pit road was 3 wide. Got way up out of the groove. Now a good start to the day for RCR, either the 2 or the 21. Definitely having a rough go at it. Again, no practice to try to help dial the cars in. This is basically what they unloaded with from yesterday afternoon. Yesterday morning when the teams had rolled into the racetrack, they were supposed to have practice qualifying, but it got rained out just like the Truck Series did just before them. Yep, Larson is on the move. As stated down there in the chat, up to 5th, and he puts the battle on Austin Hill for 4th. Should get by him pretty quickly. Hill hasn't looked quite as strong. Somebody who is looking strong is Nick Sanchez in that 48 car. He had a great car at Rockingham. Very similar racetrack today with a lot of grip, not a lot of tire fall off. Go fast for as long as you possibly can. And Sanchez is doing just that as he moves forward off the start of the race. Had a stellar run, stellar car that weekend, and here he is at Texas Motor Speedway as he's going to take second from Sheldon Creed. He had a big bobble on the bottom of 3 and 4 when he was trying to make the pass. Looked like he might have clipped the white line of the racetrack, so it took him an extra corner to finally complete the pass, but still does so off turn 2 on Creed. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson is still stuck behind Austin Hill. He's going to go up a lane from the bottom and get some clean air in the nose. Hill slips the inside. You can definitely tell that 21 is loose again. And Larson closes the gap. He's all over the back of the 21, but again, just can't get alongside of him. And I almost wonder if Larson might have checked up, thinking that Hill was going to have an even bigger slide up in front of him, and he was trying to avoid what could have been a near accident. Big run on the outside through 1 and 2. Larson beats the 21 to the top lane of the track on the back straightaway, and he'll clear before getting into turn 3. So Larson's up to 4th, race high for him after starting 20th. Matt DiBenedetto, who was one of the drivers that hit pit road during that last caution, is already up to 14th. And I do believe he's the highest in the running order of those that hit pit road during that last yellow. He was running just inside the top 10. I think Matty D's got a good car here this weekend. Definitely looking strong early. Emogene Blevins, welcome to the stream. Thank you for tuning in. Larson makes a pass on the inside of Sheldon Creed. Again, had a great run through 1 and 2. Completes the pass into 3. Larson is still 2.8 seconds off our race leader, Justin Allgaier. 12 laps to go in stage 1. The intervals in the top 10 positions have Justin Allgaier 2.4 seconds out ahead of Nick Sanchez in second. Kyle Larson's 2.9 seconds back in third. Sheldon Creed 3.2 seconds back in fourth. Austin Hill rounds out the top 5. He's 3.4 seconds off the lead in fifth. Then you have Sam Mayer in 6th, is 3.9 seconds off the lead, 4.1 back for Brandon Jones in 7th. Jeb Burton in 8th place is 5.3 seconds off the lead. Anthony Alfredo, 5.8 seconds back in 9th. And Corey Day rounds out the top 10. Good run for him early on. He's 6 seconds off the lead in 10th. I haven't seen Corey Day have some good runs so far in the Truck and Xfinity Series, and his part-time efforts on both of those, making his way into the asphalt ranks of racing, NASCAR ranks from the dirt racing world, but good start at least for Corey Day so far this afternoon. And that's with no practice on the racetrack beforehand either, so that makes it even more impressive, really. But it's only stage 1, and he's got a long ways ahead of him here. The slow start we've had with the first 3 cautions landing in those first 22 laps. We have not even made it to the end of stage 1, which is just shy of the quarter century mark. Or not quarter century, half century, but quarter mark on the race in that first 25%. Sam Mayer trying to get by his teammate of Sheldon Creed on the outside and is able to do so in the Indy's Frozen Custard Ford Mustang, the title sponsor of the race today. Mayer will crack the top 5 once again as he makes that pass. And with the loss of momentum for Sheldon Creed, he's going to lose another spot as Brandon Jones gets to his inside off turn 4. Carries that momentum into turns 1 and 2 on entry, and he'll slide up clear for 6th. Maybe, maybe not. Nope. Good exit to turn 2. By Creed, he's able to hold on barely. Ryan Sieg is now the highest in the running order of those that hit pit road during the last caution. He has made his way into the top 10 to 9th and is pressing forward. He's got Jeb Burton right in front of him. Sieg finished second at Texas last season in that spring race, and it was by a nose to Junior Motorsports at the time, Sam Mayer. A photo finish. Sieg was leading in the final 10 laps and it slipped away from him on the final lap. Tried to make the crossover move into turns 3 and 4 after Mayer had to slip up getting into 3 on the last lap of the race. Unfortunately, he just wasn't able to get the job done, and by inches at the line, it was Sam Mayer getting another Xfinity win while Ryan Sieg still searches for his first. So he's looking sporty here, up to 8th place again for Ryan Sieg. We'll see what he can do going forward. Corey Day had just been passed by Anthony Alfredo on track as well. Alfredo breaks back into the top 10 in position number 10, dropping Day to 11th. Seven laps to go in stage 1 at the line. Williams Sawalich, after starting deep in the field, is up to 19th. Jesse Love, after just hitting pit road, is up to 18th. But definitely nowhere near as far up at the front compared to Sieg and Alfredo, who hit pit road during that last caution. Justin Allgaier still holds the fastest lap of the race so far. Not sure exactly what that lap time is. I don't want to exit out of a raw feed because I do like that I have the wide screen and don't want to get rid of it by accident by trying to change my screen to something else. I'll scroll up and down when needed when we go through the full field running order, but that would be about it. It's scoring that we have 3 lead changes in the race today. Justin Allgaier has led all the green flag laps, but on the restart, he had been beaten 2 times at least to get to the start-finish line first. So that's why our lead change indicator is showing 3 lead changes, even though we've really only had 1 outright pass, which was on the opening lap through 1 and 2, getting up to speed before the first caution. Larson has gotten by Nick Sanchez a few laps ago. He is up to 2nd place, and he is running faster lap times than that of Justin Allgaier. He's 1.6 seconds off the lead with 4.5 laps left in the first stage. But I don't think he's going to have enough time to get to Allgaier before the end of stage 1. But he definitely looks like he's got the quickest car in the field as of right now. He said on the Kevin Harvick podcast, a happy hour podcast a couple weeks ago, after running the Bristol race and dominating that Xfinity race, that he said he just wants to go out in these lower series and cream the field. And after starting 20th, it makes it a little hard to do that in stage 1 at a track like Texas, where there isn't a lot of tire fall off, but he is one of the few cars that has been able to make a ton of moves early. And you got Junior Motorsports 1-2 at the front of the pack. First 2 starts for Larson this year was in the 17 car, which was a Hendrick Motorsports fielded race car in the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet, so this is his first start of the season for JRM. Jesse Love battling side by side with Carson Kvapil for 16th, just looking for more track position there. Only the top 10 will get stage points at the end of stage 1. As well as stage 2, 1 point per position, playoff point for the stage winner, as well as 10 regular season points, all the way down to 1 point for the season standings for 10th. Final lap of stage 1, this time by at the line. Larson is really closing that gap on Allgaier. I didn't think he really had much of a chance to get there, but Allgaier's been stuck in heavy lap traffic. Larson way quicker than him that last lap, but looks like it's still not going to be close enough. Stage 1 is a wrap. And so Justin Allgaier is going to win the opening stage of the race here today at Texas. 4th stage win of the year for Allgaier, 2nd most in the Xfinity Series. He's 1 behind Austin Hill. Kyle Larson 2nd in stage 1, Nick Sanchez 3rd. And 4th goes to Austin Hill. Sam Mayer 5th, Sheldon Creed 6th, Ryan Sieg 7th, Brandon Jones 8th, Jeb Burton 9th, and Anthony Alfredo rounds out the top 10. Up to 29 likes on the stream. Appreciate that, everybody. Goal of 50 for today's live commentary stream for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Texas Motor Speedway. We'll take our second break. You're listening live on KRC. Will they show if Larson had the fastest lap time if he's a part-time driver? So I would think that if he gets the fastest lap of the race, that takes away that bonus point from all the Xfinity Series regulars. He was running faster lap times than Allgaier once he got through traffic, but Allgaier still has the fastest lap of the race overall. So we shall see in Stage 2 if Larson gets that. I believe he had the fastest lap at Bristol when he won in that race. I'd imagine Homestead he probably did as well. It just means that the Xfinity Series field doesn't have the ability to get that extra bonus point. Why is Larson in the 88? That is because Connor Zilic is out with a lower back injury. So it's a late sub. Found out a couple days ago that Zilic was not going to be able to run. Bam Hall, welcome into the stream. Voting poll for who you think is going to win today's race will remain open until the end of stage number 2. And Larson's total has dropped. It was at, 57%? Early in the race, now it's down to 46. Still leads the way by quite a bit over the second pole. I think Justin Allgaier leading every lap and winning stage 1 so far has kind of changed that a little bit. Allgaier at 22% of the votes and second on that poll. Other at 17% and Austin Hill at 15% rounds out the poll. Sid Vic, welcome to the stream. Good afternoon to you as well. Only Larson can play reindeer games with the Xfinity Series field and get away with it. Nothing like putting a target on your back. I mean, it's like prime Kyle Busch, really. I mean, it's almost the same thing. Just go out there and win almost every time you get in the car. I remember there was one season where he ran, Kyle Busch ran like 6 or 7 races, and he won all but one of them. And there was another season when they started limiting the Cup drivers to only being able to run 5 Xfinity races in a season. He won all 5 of them. And yeah, I think Larson the heavy favorite for this race today, even though it was more of a late sub. She's got that much talent. With 45-plus laps led for Justin Allgaier, he's within 30 laps led of Kyle Larson for the most on the season so far. But Larson has not led yet today. It did look quicker at the end of Stage 1, so 7 teams definitely going to have to make some massive adjustment changes if they're going to want to keep his speed up and give him a chance to try to win this thing. Stage yellow at lap 45 is our 4th caution of the race, our first not for incident. We had 3 yellows for a caution in the first 22 laps of the race in Stage 1, as our longest green flag run now has gone for 20 laps. No competition caution today like we saw in the Truck Series yesterday. It was at least rubber on the racetrack. And obviously with the early cautions anyway, I don't think they would have ended up having the comp yellow because of how many we saw early and gave these teams an opportunity to pit. The 3rd yellow probably would have been the comp caution anyway. So Stage 2 will end at lap 90. Quarter of the way home. Problems for Christian Eckes as his car is going to be pushed behind the pit wall and into the garage. Eckes is still in the race car, so the team is able to go to work, and whatever the problem is for Eckes, if he is able to continue, I don't think he's going to be able to continue. It sounded like he was blowing up again. So engine problems, it looks like, for Christian Eckes, and that will knock him out of the race if that is the case. Reported that he was blowing up. Frank Powers, thanks for tuning in. Pit row will be open this time. And Allgaier will lead the field on in.
Yeah, let's start at the top. Kyle Larson at 88. He said he was bound up on the front end, just needs to be freer. He said, I have to avoid the rubber, otherwise I get really tight. They'll look for an adjustment there. Middle of your screen, that's Nick Sanchez. Car felt good to start, but then dropped the run. He got tighter. He said, I need help. Late exit. They'll make a track bar adjustment as well as air pressure. Dylan?
Jim Coleman, crew chief on the 7, asked his driver, Justin Allgaier, if he could be freed up because everybody else is freeing up with adjustments. Justin said maybe a little bit, so they'll make an air pressure adjustment and a small track bar adjustment just to trend the 7 a little bit more towards the free side.
Bit of a hiccup there for the 88 race.
Austin Hill going to win the race off the pit road in the 21. Allgaier loses 4 positions. Kyle Larson loses even more than that. Larson didn't even get in the top 10 on the race off the pit road, so quite a few spots lost for him. Was second at the end of the stage, and now he is going to be, as we scroll down our leaderboard, pretty deep in the field. 22nd now for Kyle Larson. Justin Allgaier is 6th after going in as a leader. So the top 2 looked like they had the fastest cars of the day. Slow stops, and they are now further back. Larson 15th leaving pit road. Once our leaderboard updated, but again, Allgaier in 6th, and they were 1st and 2nd, so took Larson a long time through that first stage to get up to 2nd place, so being back in 15th, not going to necessarily say that he's going to have a great chance to win stage 2 either. Even if we do see a longer green flag run from the start of it. Might have a slower pace for those at the very front, knowing that now Justin Allgaier is not going to be the leader. Top half dozen on the next restart. We'll have Austin Hill in the lead, Sheldon Creed 2nd, Brandon Jones 3rd. Joey Gase is up to 4th. Nick Sanchez in 5th, and Justin Allgaier 6th. Gase might have went right sides only to gain some track position. I'm curious to see if he's actually going to stay up there towards the front of the field for that next restart. And he does not, so that will move Allgaier up a spot to 5th, and Ryan Sieg will be 6th. And Larson up a couple as well to 13th, so still time lost. It's going to be fun to watch that 88 try to rip through the field as well as the 7. Should make the start of Stage 2 very intriguing. Chevy, Ford, Toyota at the front of the field on the manufacturer race. Really a pretty even split through the top 10. 5 Chevys, 2 Toyotas, 3 Fords up in the top 10 positions. 4th lead change of the day with Austin Hill winning the race out of the pits. Corey Hyman winning the truck race last night, led 97 laps out of the originally scheduled 167. He had won Stage 2 and won the race. Stage 1 was won by Grant Enfinger on pit strategy at the Comp Yellow lap 20. Then there was another caution before the end of the first stage, which set up a few lap restart, which really split the strategy and allowed for drivers who were further back to gain track position and have a chance to score quite a few stage points. Enfinger was able to capitalize on it the most, winning the stage and picking up his first playoff point of the season. All the cautions in Stage 1 today for the Xfinity race, though, were early and in the first half of the stage, so we didn't see anything like that happen here. We could see it in Stage 2 if we see a caution in the final 10 laps or so of the second stage. We'll have to wait and see if that will happen. Again, our light goal is at 50 for the stream. And we are currently at 35, so we're definitely getting close to our light goal for today. Again, thanks for everybody tuning in They got the Andes frozen custard in the broadcast booth. Only Parker Kligerman and Adam Alexander will be in the booth here today. And you'll get to listen to their call on this next restart.
Great show. I mean, I don't know what I signed up for here. We got ice cream, tequila. It's amazing.
My only problem having one in each hand, I don't have a
You have no
free to eat with,
No.
you know? Hey, let's go back. We mentioned going to break. Issues for the 88. Kyle Larson on pit road, lost a ton of positions. In addition, going to be penalized for an uncontrolled tire.
Ooh, right. So it was already it was a slow stop as well, but this was the big issue that you'll see here. That right front tire is just going to slowly get away. The tire changer is out. It's already impeded the 45. That's too far away, more than arm's length.
That's dangerous.
Also, Jet Burton came down here and runs over the hose. They have to push him back. They worked on the car when doing that. We'll have to go back. That's a mistake you can't afford in the 2017.
The good news for both of them, they got stage points. I mean, not a big deal for Larson, right, because he's not running for points. Some stage points, though, there for Jet Burton, but both those drivers coming from the rear on the restart after the penalties. Matt DiBenedetto also had an uncontrolled tire. 51 of Jeremy Clements over the wall too soon. A host of penalties on those pit stops at the end of stage one. And Justin Allgaier lost some ground. So we got some new players at the front here.
And just to clean up for Jet Burton, he was getting out of the box when he slid through. They jacked it up. That was the issue.
Yep. So front row here is going to be Sheldon Creed, Brandon Jones. Jones in the outside lane, Creed inside. Here we are once again, beginning stage 2 as drivers go through the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. I said Creed, it's Hill on the inside, right in front of Sheldon Creed.
Creed was trying to be the one that was right there below the 21 as they went through the dogleg there all over the place in blocks. Sam Mayer gets shoved 3 wide in the middle. Jesse Love gets by him.
Look at Allgaier trying to get back up to the front, driving inside of Brandon Jones. Nick Sanchez right back in the mix. Looking outside, and that 48 around the outside of Brandon Jones, the 20.
What a move. It didn't look like it was going to work. He didn't have the positive momentum down the corner, but went to the outside, found the grip, and drove right around Brandon Jones and bringing Justin Allgaier with him.
Curious to watch the 7 here and how that car reacts with some dirty air after they were so dominant in the first stage, but really never challenged when you talk about the dirty air.
That's something he'll be figuring out here, but we showed how many laps he's led here, how good he's been here, knowing just Allgaier. He knows exactly what to do when in traffic in these race cars. Veteran of the Xfinity Series.
Larson driving through the field, aggressive early after the penalty, and boy, nearly had to get away from him.
And look when he got out of the groove out there, how little speed he had. How the car even slid when he was going slower. That just shows you how little grip is out there. It's on such a knife edge here, such a condensed space of what is the racing groove and what is not. And you see cars go to the outside, they're taking a huge risk. Carson Quapple goes to the bottom here, Leland Honeyman.
Wow. Sometimes when drivers start like that, you think there's an issue. But when you close on someone, you've got to make the move quick. Here's Allgaier inside of Sanchez for third.
If you've got the run, you just got to be decisive with it. It's the only way it works here. You've got to take control of the corner when you can. That's how you make passes. As Kyle Larson's trying to make up for that issue he had off of turn 4.
Couple of penalty cars following each other through here. DiBenedetto, 99, 88, Kyle Larson. .44, Brennan Poole, a Texas native. He calls the Woodlands, Texas home.
Ooh.
Oh,
Look at that move. Near contact.
wow, that was close. Daigle died. The inside Leland Honeyman there. I don't know if Leland knew he was down there or whoever was trying to come down as Daigle died, got beneath him. That was almost contact.
Is Leland Honeyman Jr. a magnet today or
It
what?
seems so.
Maybe every time something crazy happens on track, I feel like he's in the middle of it.
He's got his own highlight reel.
He's in the 70. The other highlight reel belongs to the guy driving the 7. Allgaier loses the positions on pit road, already up to second as he drives below that 00 of Sheldon Creed.
So he learned 2 things. He was really good in clean air, and he seems not to have an issue in traffic. Because he's been able to fly through these cars, making quick passes as he goes along towards the lead.
Number 16, Thompson. He got a little bouncy there. Honeyman has to come out of it. Dye nowhere to go. A lot going on in that situation.
And it's just an awkward part of the racetrack. We're going to talk about it all day. We've seen hitting the inside there and hitting the grass. While that happens, you lose your sight lines when you're following another car through there. But it also sort of condenses you down in that dogleg. And that's sort of where when the 70 had to check up, Daniel Dye was going there already, and it just sort of condensed them together. That's why it looked so close.
Dylan, what's the latest on Christian Eckes?
Well, they just did go back to the garage and spoke with the team, and they said it was a push rod issue in the motor that they are going to try to fix and get back out there. You see Eckes out of the car, so I don't know if that's changed the more they dove into it, but it was a push rod issue. This is a team that needs points even at this point in the year, so if they do go back out in long laps, it's going to be valuable.
I felt like today was a day he could take advantage because his history in the Truck Series is always good. Here at Texas, really good intermediate driver in the Craftsman Truck Series, but unfortunately hanging for now in the garage as we check in on the battle for the lead. They started on the front row. Austin Hill leading Justin Allgaier.
Justin's gotten to him quickly, but getting there is one thing. Passing is another. But he's just looking so strong. The way that car cuts through the center, he gets off the corner. He looks really good down in 3 and 4 as well. As Austin Hill has done a good job of being up here in the top 3, but it just seems like the 7 has the speed right now.
For most, getting there and passing are two different things. For Allgaier today, I'm not sure it really matters. 7's been stout, but for now, he rides behind Austin Hill, who leads 17 laps into stage 2.
We'll go through the full field leaderboard right now on the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Austin Hill is the race leader. Second place is Justin Allgaier, Sheldon Creed in third, Nick Sanchez fourth, and Sam Mayer rounds out the top 5 and fifth. Jesse Love is sixth, Ryan Segan seventh, Riley Herbston eighth, Corey Day ninth, and Brandon Jones rounds out the top 10. In 11th, it's William Sawalich, Josh Taylor Gray 13th, Harrison Burton 14th, and Carson Kvapil is 16th for Parker Retzlaff, Anthony Alfredo 17th, Dean Thompson 18th, Daniel Dye 19th, and Kyle Larson from the rear of the field after the pit road penalty is up to 20th. Matt DiBenedetto after starting top 10 is 21st, and Leland Honeyman in 22nd, Mason Massey 23rd, Brennan Poole 24th, and Chris Wright 25th. Jeremy Clements is 26th, Blaine Perkins 27th, Ryan Ellis 28th, Garrett Smithley 29th, Jeb Burton in 30th, Kyle Segan 31st, Mason Maggio 32nd, 33rd for Sammy Smith, Joey Gase 34th, Catherine Legg 35th, Nick Lights 36th, Josh Bilicki 37th, and then Christian Eckes, the only driver off the racetrack. Again, as you heard there, engine problems for him. They are looking to get that car fixed and get it back out on the racetrack at some point in time before the end of the race, but he is off track 19 laps down. Josh Bilicki is the only other car on the racetrack, but he is off the lead lap. As of right now, 1 lap down. He has been involved in 2 of the first 4 cautions so far today. 3 of them for incident, 1 of which was a stage yellow at lap 45. 4 lead changes. Austin Hill has led every green flag lap of stage 2. Every green flag lap of stage 1 was led by Justin Allgaier, who started second. Hill was the initial pole sitter. And as of right now as well, those are the only 2 drivers, again, to lead green flag laps in today's race. So that's a little bit of a race update. Lap 66 of 200. We're a third of the way home in today's NASCAR Xfinity Series Andy's Frozen Custard 300 at Texas Motor Speedway. We'll take a quick break and continue our live commentary coverage right here on KRC. Patrick Chatterley, welcome into the stream. 39 likes on our goal of 50. We're getting close, and we're still in stage 2, so be sure to hit that like button. We could be on pace to getting to 100 for today's live commentary stream, and I think we've gotten to 100. I'd have to go back and look at it to say for sure, but we've definitely gotten there a few times for the NASCAR Xfinity Series this season. I might take a moment to try and find that here in a little bit. I feel like we've got a streak going as far as how many times we have gotten to 100 likes on a NASCAR Xfinity Series race stream. I just realized I haven't even hit the like button myself on the stream, so that should give me another one. Telling you guys to do it, and I haven't even done it myself yet. There we go. Now we're at 40. And again, thank you for everybody that has been tuned in all race weekend long with these live commentary streams. Not the usual setup, but we will be back, and many of you are definitely tuned in for this NASCAR Xfinity Series race today so far, so greatly appreciate that as always as well. Through the commercial break, Austin Hill is still the race leader. Have to wait and see exactly how long that's going to be able to hold on for. Allgaier's been pretty close behind him for quite some time. You have to scroll way over. All right, so simultaneously, I'm trying to look back. Last weekend we had over 100 at Dega. Rockingham the week before that we had over 100. Bristol 102. Darlington, we did not. Okay, so it's been 3 straight races. So 3 straight races, we've had 100 likes on the NASCAR Xfinity Series live commentary stream. So let's see if we can make it 4 weeks in a row, ladies and gents. I know we don't have the usual setup here, but let's see if we can get it done 4 weeks in a row and get to 100 likes on these Xfinity Series race streams. Lap 72 right now, just past halfway through stage 2, which will end at lap 90. So we've got at the line here for Hill, 18 laps to go the stage as he splits through lap traffic. Gets by Catherine Legg on the outside, past the 91 and Josh Bilicki on the inside just before that. Allgaier trying to run the same line, but he slipped up the track in the middle of 1 and 2 and loses time to the leader. Kyle Larson and his wayward through to the front of the field is up to 16th. He's still more than 15 seconds off the lead. Your current top 10 has Austin Hill out in front, Justin Allgaier in second, Sheldon Creed in third, Nick Sanchez fourth, Sam Mayer fifth, then Jesse Love in sixth, Riley Herbst seventh, Corey Day eighth, Ryan Sieg ninth, and Brandon Jones rounding out the top 10. Long ways to go, obviously, here at Texas Motor Speedway, today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race. We're on this very fast racetrack. Corey Day was 11th at the end of stage 1 and running 8th right now. He's been pretty much up in the top 10 for the majority of the race. Kyle Larson, his mentor, is up another spot to 15th as he gets by Harrison Burton. Clears him on entry into turn 3 with now 15 laps to go, this time by in stage 2. Jesse Love and Riley Herbst battling for position. That is 4-6. Jesse Love is making a good comeback after he was up in the top 5 at the start of the race. Started falling back, had to make a pit stop early in stage 1. He's gaining ground back. He's doing a great job right now of staying clean. Just like Rockingham a couple weeks ago, good track for him. Although he got DQ'd at Rockingham, he did cross the start-finish line first. Led the most laps of that race, although he hasn't led today. Thought he could have been a contender for a good top 5 run. With another track that doesn't have a lot of tire wear for this Xfinity Series race. We're seeing that out of Nick Sanchez today, just like we saw a couple weeks ago. He didn't get DQ'd at Rockingham, but he's still up in the top 5 and 4th, and Jesse Love looking to get back there soon. That battle for 6th with Riley Herbst continues on. Love has gained 4 positions since the restart. 6/10 of a second lead for Austin Hill over Justin Allgaier. The gap to 3rd is 1.3 seconds over Sheldon Creed and 3.1 seconds back to Nick Sanchez in 4th. Side-by-side commercial break currently airing on the CW. Dakota Denton, welcome to the stream late but here. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see if we can get that light goal of 50 before the end of stage 2. We're now 5 shy with about a dozen laps to go in the second stage. When I come back from this next commercial break, I'll let you listen in to more of the CW broadcast. Again, just a 2-man booth today with Adam Alexander and Parker Kligerman. Justin Allgaier, who won stage 1, trying to sweep the first 2 stages of the race. 5 stage wins this year for Hill, 4 for Allgaier. So if Allgaier is able to pass him in the closing laps of this stage, then he will be able to get through and tie him for the most on the season of the Xfinity Series regulars. Hill is not really separating himself from Allgaier. They have been trading lap times periodically. Just depends on where exactly Hill catches the lap cars.
10 laps to go, stage 2. NASCAR Xfinity Series racing at Texas. It's the Andes Frozen Custard 300 on CW with Parker Kligerman. I'm Adam Alexander. Dylan Welch on the pit lane with Kim Kuhn. Carla Metz hanging out in the CW garage. Rain yesterday, cancels practice and qualifying. Chamber of Commerce weather today. 70s, sunshine. And stage 2 has been all about Austin Hill. And I would say give credit to the pit crew who got in that advantage to begin the second stage. And when you talk about stage points being on the line, a lot of good racing here, back part of the top 10.
Yeah, tell a great look at the inside of Brian's seat here for that final stage point in 10th. Maybe need that. Definitely need some points this time. He's had some tough finishes this year.
See, had that period there, middle of stage 1, early stage 2, where you felt like the 39 was coming to life, and now maybe in need of another adjustment, although he gives up the side. He says, I might take that right back. Joe Gibbs Racing, and I said it earlier, this has been a great track for them over the years. Riley Hirsch quietly in 6th, Brandon Jones 9th, Taylor Gray here in 10th, and just behind them, William Sawalich, who started way back, but the 18 having as good a day as we've seen in a while, Kim.
That's right. Let's get a Toyota driver update with William Swatch, currently running in the 12th position after starting 35th, and he has no seat time here. The first laps of this race were the first laps on this track brand, but he worked a ton with Eric Amarola to prepare and put around 40 hours of sim time into Texas alone to get ready for this race. Crew Chief Jeff Mentoring told me the approach he gave his driver, he said he didn't want to scare him with how sketchy it is here in Texas, but he also didn't want him to underdrive it because this place can be even sketchier if you underdrive. He just needs to charge the corners here is what he told his driver. Right now, Dylan, though, just a little free off of 4 for William Swallich.
And Austin Hill is at the front of this battle for the lead, but all is not well behind the wheel. Take a listen.
The rear chatter on entry is really weird.
He's been working the brake fans, trying to find a good balance there, but trying to hold off the 7 at the same time.
I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it. I mean, Allgaier was just riding back there, couldn't get there, but now we hear the report on the issues of the 21, and here comes the 7 of Allgaier.
And Austin uses the brake bias more than probably any other driver in the series. He's known for it. He did it so often a couple weeks ago, he actually broke the knob inside the race car at one point. So he uses that a lot, but that is an odd issue that he's talking about with the brakes. I'm not exactly sure what that could be right now. Sometimes if you have vibrations that kind of push the pads back, that sort of thing, but to be locking the rears, you're only using about 150 to 200 pounds of brake, maybe 250 down to turn 1, which I had to put that on a scale. That's like 15 to 25% of max brake that you would use here each lap into turn 1. So you shouldn't be having issues like that.
Couple of things to watch here. Some big stories developing. Not only the battle for the lead as Hill right now is holding off Justin Allgaier, but we're riding on board with Jeff Burton. Final car on the lead lap, had the penalty in the stage 1. He wants to stay right here so he doesn't lose a lap, and at the very least wants to make sure that he's in the free pass position at the end of the stage if he does lose a lap, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to hang on to it.
It's going to be really tough to hold off Austin Hill here as he looks down the inside. And even with those double shoes, easily able to get in front of him. You don't want to go too far up. He's able to get away from it.
3 to go in the stage. Now you just have to hope Hill doesn't pass anyone else, putting them a lap down. Next car you would see to put a lap down, Jeremy Clements, make it Brennan Poole, who's 24th. And there is a caution. Perfect timing here for Jeff. Will not get the free pass. Just right in the 5, was running 27th when it got away from him.
Yeah, it's happened off turn 2.
5th caution of the afternoon.
When you have an incident or an issue off of turn 2 and lose a race car, the other special part about Texas is the walls are very close on both sides. There's not a lot of room back there. We've seen at times the track get blocked on restarts with large wrecks.
This could end the stage.
It will, man.
So we'll take a look at it here off of turn 2. Yep, we talked about it all day, being too high out of the groove. There's just absolutely no grip. Chris was just too high. The track falls away through there. It flattens out. Then the wall comes up quickly. So they only keep it out of the inside wall.
You know, we talked last week at Talladega about the level of concentration because you just was so locked in the draft. It's kind of the same here, right? I mean, if you miss your mark just a little, it gets away from you.
And it's so odd as you look there, Sam Mayer on board, watching what happened, Chris, right? You wouldn't think they were on a really drastically different line through that corner at that time. But the line between being in the grip and out of it is so fine, and there's no identifying marker to you. There's not a line on the racetrack that says here's grip, here isn't. You just have to feel it, you have to sense it, you just have to know. And it's a really tough thing. That's why we see cars that just get a little bit too far out of the groove, suddenly lose all that grip. And when you get out there, it can at times, especially if you go high enough, feel like ice potentially that you've hit, which is just what makes this place so tough.
Confirming Jeff Burton will get the free pass, get back on the lead lap. He's 25th right now in the running order. Looking at some of those drivers in the top 10 that needed stage points, Sanchez is in 4th. Sam Mayer, trying to help his cause. Jesse Love back there.
Great first 2 stages for Nick Sanchez. You know, this team I feel like they've done that a couple times this season, haven't gotten the finishes, but they've kept themselves in a great, close enough to the playoff cut line through those stage points. And they did that again today, starting back at 14th, but to get 2 top 5s in the stages, that's really impressive.
I had a quick shot of the 21 pit crew. They did their job, get the track position, and Austin Hill pays it off. Going to get his 6th stage win of 2025, his first that was not in the draft. And it's the first time he's won a stage at Texas Motor Speedway. Allgaier is 2nd. Creed, Sanchez, Mayer, the top 5. Austin Hill has 2 career wins on mile-and-a-half tracks. He's got 3 victories this year. Feeling the momentum. They did have some mechanical issues. What's going on there? We'll follow up when we return. Pit stops are next.
Top 10 for stage 2 goes like this. Austin Hill picks up his 6th stage win of the season, and then you got Justin Allgaier in 2nd, Sheldon Creed 3rd, Nick Sanchez 4th, Sam Mayer in 5th, Riley Herbst 6th, Jesse Love 7th, Corey Day 8th, Brandon Jones 9th, and Taylor Gray rounding out the top 10. So that is the top 10 on the leaderboard following the end of stage 2. And as we have reached the end of stage 2, we'll close our chat poll off, which has been open since the start of the race today. 73 votes have been casted for today's race. Kyle Larson at 45% does lead and win the poll for who you think is going to win. He has not led a lap yet, though, so far this afternoon. He was 2nd at the end of stage 1. And Justin Allgaier at 21% of the votes was 2nd. Austin Hill at 16% of the votes, tying other, which also had 16 votes. Justin Allgaier won stage 1. Austin Hill wins stage 2. Track position is the name of the game so far here today at Texas Motor Speedway. No surprise there. Bradley Thomas, welcome back in. Got 100 concurrent viewers currently in the chat. Appreciate that, everybody. Tuning in. 47 likes. We'll take a quick break. We'll have pit stops on the other side. You're listening live on KRC to the Indy's Frozen Custard 300 at Texas. This is our 5th caution of the day. Stage 2 did go caution-free. After we had 3 cautions for incident in Stage 1, still sitting at the 4 lead changes. The last was during the Stage 1 pit stops when Austin Hill won the race off of pit lane. We'll see if his pit crew is going to be able to do it again. They've done it before numerous times, including once already today. Just Allgaier had lost 5 positions on pit road with his stop, and then Kyle Larson, who was second, had a pit road penalty on top of losing as many spots as they did. He had to restart at the tail end of the field. He was 11th at the end of Stage 2. So definitely can't count him out of it yet, as we still have half the race to go. He's very much in contention despite the fact he has not led yet. He's still the odds-on favorite to win the race today. He was my favorite to win the race today, and as well as many of you guys in that chat poll, which again just closed moments ago.
CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by Progressive. Save when you bundle home, auto, and motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.com. And by Andy's Frozen Custard. Made fresh every hour in 54,000 treat combos to wow your taste buds. Visit Andy's today. Anthony Alfredo, enjoying a pretty good afternoon, looking for his 4th consecutive top 15 finish. And now our race fit health report for the driver from Connecticut, brought to you by Breast Tree.
Fast Pasta said he eats pasta and carb loads before races. He also made sure to tell us what his favorite sauce is. Botticelli there. Botticelli. I know it's a sponsor pick. So once again, we got a sponsor in here. I like this. 315 pounds deadlift by end of the season. Good to have a goal. To do that, you got to listen to Hard Run, I would think. That's going to pump you up to want to deadlift that much weight. I'd be like me lifting you. Right?
Oh, after I had the Andy's Frozen
There we
Custard. and just like that, we're on board with the Andy's car. To Progressive Pit Road, here come the race leaders as we have pit stops ending Stage 2, Kim.
Yeah, that Andy's Frozen Custard machine driven by Sam Mayer. Sam saying just a little bit snug, same as Stage 1. They'll look to take an air pressure adjustment on those fresh Goodyear tires and half an adjustment from the last stop. As we move further down pit road, top of your screen, that's Nick Sanchez. Little free early in the run, then want to take tight in the middle of the run, then free in a good way, he said, to end it. Dylan, he said he didn't want to change much on that car.
We'll go back on the changes they made on the 7 car at the end of Stage 1 to give Justin Allgaier more lateral grip. That's a half round down on the track bar. Told you about the brake concerns for the 21 of Austin Hill. That's causing him to chatter the front tires. He wants to be looser. They made an air pressure adjustment, chassis adjustment on the 21.
Team does their job again in the 21 camp. Austin Hill comes in with the race lead. He has the top spot off, +1 for Creed. Allgaier loses 1. Sanchez and Love, the top 5. Final stage after the break.
Most positions gained on pit road there was inside the top 10 at least. Would have been 4 spots gained for Taylor Gray. He rolls off 6. Kyle Larson up a spot to 10th. 1 spot lost for Allgaier from 2nd back to 3rd. So some of the other bigger movers. Corey Day up another spot. He is in 7th now as well. No major losses on pit road unless we get any reports of some sort of penalties that might have taken place during that wave of pit stops. Again, we had a few of them during the Stage 1 pit stops. They will have to pit for fuel and tire purposes at least one more time in this race today. Again, that fuel window is right around 60 to 65 laps, and we have just over 100 to go with where we're at to begin Stage 3. Austin Hill's pit crew holds serve, wins the race off of pit road once more. Wayne Martin, welcome into the stream. He's pulling for Hill. Sure to hit the like button, everybody. We're at 48. We're 2 away from our goal, but we are trying to keep a streak alive here. If we're on these NASCAR Xfinity Series live commentary streams, we have hit 100 likes each of the last 3 Xfinity Series races, Talladega, Rockingham, and Bristol. We'll see if we can do that for the 4th consecutive week here today at Texas Motor Speedway. This is our last live commentary stream of the weekend, as that will be at Texas Motor Speedway for the Cup race tomorrow, which is why we have a different layout for these streams today, why you're not seeing my lovely face in front of the camera for today's race stream as well. Just don't have the usual setup that we would have for these live commentary streams, but we are still able to do this from the road. And this will probably be the setup going forward for when we have future road streams. But we'll be back at the comfort of my own home next weekend, as well as many more weeks to come after that. Next race I'll be attending after tomorrow's Cup race at Texas won't be until Michigan in June. That Michigan race is close to where I live, so I'll actually be able to stream like I did at Talladega last week before hitting the road late Saturday night. Only I could just go to the race Sunday morning and then be back Sunday evening after the race. We'll have the race highlight videos from the grandstands for that Michigan race, and obviously we'll have the race highlights from the grandstand for tomorrow's race as well. Many of those were uploaded on Sunday, either during or after the race Sunday night, onto the channel. So if you haven't checked those out from Talladega, be sure to do so. There were a couple of them that did really well, but trying something a little different there. The video quality on some of those videos were better than others. The ones that I uploaded from my phone, I did get comments about why the video quality was worse than what it usually was. That was so I can get the quick upload during the race. I'm going to do that again tomorrow for the Texas race, and then going forward after that, I'll just kind of gauge off of what you guys want me to do. There were some videos that I did take with the camera itself as I usually would, and then uploaded those later that night. It's just the processing takes a while by the time I get to the hotel after the race. It depends on what hotel I'm at as to how good the Wi-Fi is. It's very questionable because there's been times over the years, the first couple of years on the channel when I've been doing these race highlight videos from the grandstands that they don't upload till like overnight or early the next morning. So I was trying to avoid that as much as I could. So I'm going to do that again this week, and then we'll see going forward how that will be after that. So put your comments in the comment section below those videos as far as to what you want to see going forward, because I'll give you what you want.
Was big as the 21 ended stage 2 on top.
And his team has been incredible today. 2 fastest stops of the afternoon, both by RCR's number 21.
And it's not surprising because they have been the fastest pit crew for the last couple of years. They've led that category throughout the year, each and every year. They've won him multiple races. It's amazing what that 21 crew does.
Other end of the spectrum, William Swalich, uncontrolled tire, was 13th prior to the pit stops.
That is so unfortunate. It was once again having a solid run, and you see the tire all the way out there. That is definitely uncontrolled.
And now we get a report from pit road. Here's Kim.
Yeah, catching up with Connor Zilic is here to support his team and his substitute driver, Kyle Larson. I know the goal is to learn from Kyle, and your crew chief, Marty Lindley, told me he hopes you get an idea of what he has to do. So what's been added to your notebook, just being on top of the box?
Yeah, listening to how he gives feedback. I'll tell you, it's weird watching someone drive a car with their name on it, but I'm glad that it's Kyle. I'm able to learn a lot from him. And the Blues Hog Chevrolet is as fast as Xfinity Mobile. So hopefully in stage 3, we had a good pit stop there so we can move forward a little bit and hopefully get my team a good finish.
All right, there you have it. We're going to let him get back on top of the box for this restart.
Such a shame not to get the experience here as a young driver trying to gain all the experience he can. But we've got these 2 weeks off coming up. And remember, we rumble towards Charlotte. He's going to be making a start in the Coca-Cola 600. So best to rest up here, take care of his back. He'll be back there in Charlotte, hopefully.
Front row for the restart as we begin the final stage. Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, those 2 drivers have combined to lead every lap so far today. Pace car heading to pit road.
103 laps to go as we begin stage 3 at the Texas Motor Speedway in the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Austin Hill inside row 1, outside row 1 for Justin Allgaier. Green flag is back in the air. Oh, one car into the grass as they get up to speed. It's Josh Williams, and he gets piled into by Anthony Alfredo. Several other cars stack up further behind and crash as well. Garrett Smithley, Catherine Legg, a couple others. How many more cars are we going to see this weekend hit the grass on that second kink of the dog leg, essentially on the front stretch, causing an incident? Because we've seen it twice in this race. And now we have seen it, we saw what, twice last night in the truck race as well?
As you go through a restart, it's really tough. Everyone starts to go lower and lower, trying to get sight into turn 1 and set up for turn 1.
Boys, that's my fault. I moved up, not enough.
That's a shame for Josh Williams. I think when he gets to watch it all back, he'll see that he sort of followed the cars in front of him, which all sort of followed each other into the grass. And as that happened, it caused all sorts of checkups and cars getting into each other.
You know, we see problems on restarts where penalties happen when you follow the car in front of you, then you get out of line, right? I mean, you jump too early. Here, it's the grass that gets you when you follow someone in front of you.
So first you have Corey Day getting the outside there, Riley Herbst, and then Sam Mayer was lower than Corey Day, and then Carson Quapple tried to follow him, and then Josh was trying to go lower than Carson Quapple, and all three of them basically ended up in the grass. You saw Sam Mayer make a really harsh move to get away from the grass. And you're basically trying to follow the cars in front of you, but you just don't know it's down there. And that's how you end up, and obviously Taylor Gray getting some damage there from Sam Mayer getting in it, or from Corey Day.
On board with Sam Mayer.
Great save. It's like you just follow the cars in front of you thinking they know where to go. They have clearer sight than you. They don't. They're in the grass. Now you're in the grass, and then it all ends up in a wreck.
Maybe a trip to the sod farm.
Yeah.
Overnight. Been down there a lot.
Austin Hill holds on to the lead following the restart. Our second crash because of somebody clipping the grass on the second kink of the front stretch here at Texas Motor Speedway today. This is our sixth caution of the race, our fourth for incident. 3 of our first 4 cautions for incident today have all taken place on the first lap following either the initial start of the race or a restart before the race leader gets back to the start-finish line to complete a green flag lap during that green flag run. So, interesting stat line there because we usually don't see that, especially on a 1.5-mile racetrack, and the fact that it's still the first half of this NASCAR Xfinity Series race. So we will be just past halfway by the time this next restart comes upon us, as we will be circuiting lap 100 this time by. Gene Russell, welcome to the stream, as well as many others that are tuning in, whether for the first time or returning viewers to the channel. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so yet, and hit the like button as well. Helps the streams out a ton. We are on the road to 7,000 subs on the channel. We just hit 6,000 last weekend during the Talladega ARCA race specifically, but I knew we were going to get there at Dega last week because we were so close the weekend before that. But you guys definitely blew it out of the park as far as who showed up for last weekend's events. Greatly appreciated. We set a new stream record during that ARCA race for most views, most likes. We almost hit 1,000 likes on the stream, which is just insane to really think that something like that was even possible. We didn't start doing these live commentary streams until, let's see here, I got to think back. We started doing them 2 seasons ago. This is our 3rd season of doing live commentary streams for NASCAR. Last year, we did all the Truck Xfinity Cup races. The year before that, we did all the Cup races and select NASCAR, Xfinity, and truck races. The year before that, I guess I technically started doing the live commentary streams in 2022, but that year we were only doing some Cup races, and I think I might have done some Xfinity and trucks as well, but it was just a part-time gig at the time. I was still working a weekend shift, in fact, at that time where I work, so wasn't able to do it as much as I've done these last couple years, now the 3rd consecutive year again of at least the Cup Series, doing it pretty much every weekend outside of the races that I go to in person. And again, there's some content with at-track stuff and try to pump that out for you guys. And again, thank you so much for all that, because I really wouldn't be doing this every weekend without you guys, because again, kind of going back to that very first season when I was just doing it for the first time, part-time. I was working on the weekend, so I just basically did it when I could. And here we are now. Now we're watching Texas Motor Speedway and East Frozen Custard 300 together, and we're seeing a lot of cautions on the first 100 laps of this race. Top half dozen for the next restart. We'll have Austin Hill in the lead, Sheldon Creed right there in second, Justin Allgaier third, Jesse Love fourth, then Nick Sanchez rounds out the top 5 and fifth. Corey Day up to 6th place. And what is just his 2nd Xfinity Series start of the season.
Here on the CW.
It's a great CW Sports Saturday. Grand Slam track comes your way next. Right now, it's the Andes Frozen Custard 300 NASCAR Xfinity Series racing for the 47th time at Texas Motor Speedway. And our 6th caution flag is out. 10 cars involved in a crash as we begin the final stage.
It's been an interesting one for sure. It started out chaotic and it's continued throughout. But this wreck here that happened on the restart, I think we've got a better visual of what I've been trying to talk about, where you lose your sight of where the grass is. Rombo was saying there, here, there's Corey Day in front of him. We're going through the first dog leg here. And then right as we get past the start-finish line right here, you can't see. If we go back a little bit, you can't see where that grass is. And remember, we're up top on the roof right here. So if you stop it there, basically, what Sam Mayer's vision is nothing. There's no grass. He's just going to follow the car in front of him. And that's what everyone behind him is doing as well. And then that grass sort of pops up as you're trying to get further left to get some visual. And suddenly he's down there and the cars behind him are even lower. Now they're in the grass, and that causes the wreck that we had on the restart.
And the other thing I would say in this situation, we know it's challenging to pass here. The sense of urgency on a restart is enormous in a place like Texas, anywhere. But you know, this is your big chance to go out, gain some track position, and the aggression level is on high. Let's get an update on driver 2, Jesse Love. Dylan?
Well, he'll restart in 4th, but has been a little bit under the weather this weekend. This was the recent team radio on the 2.
Morning. Thing's got all acid run. Yeah, I still feel like you take this thing to turn, we'll be all right.
So it's kind of funny because their mantra on this 2 team the last couple of weeks has been pushing full offense and just attack constantly. But sometimes when you don't feel good, it's a little hard to get up on the wheel and make stuff happen. Good news is they've been fast, and as we said, he'll restart 4th here.
Well, it's always tough when you don't feel well to kind of be amped up and have when you're doing high heart rate and that sort of thing. But sometimes I feel the best I ever feel when I'm sick or whatever is inside the race car. But that team has been asking him to be more aggressive. They did that at Rockingham. They got the win. Unfortunately, it was taken away in post-race tech. But he has been more aggressive over the last couple weeks than we've seen in the past, especially on restarts. Danny Stockman's been asking him to do that and been happy that he's been doing that.
Double duty this weekend for Jesse Love. Trying to drive the 62 car tomorrow. 2nd career cut start for Beard Motorsports. First coming for RCR at Bristol. First time tomorrow he'll drive the 62. Front row for the restart.
97 laps to go. Green flag back in the air yet again. Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier out in front of it. And as the field heads for turn 1, nobody's going to clip the grass this time in that second kink of the dog leg. Justin Allgaier through turns 1 and 2 on the outside, going to take the lead. So the second time Allgaier's been able to get to the outside and get clear. Oh, we got a wreck off turn 2 a little bit further back. And hard into the inside wall. Driver's side door first is going to be the 00 of Sheldon Creed. Another caution on a restart. Our 4th caution today before we get a green flag lap in on the next run. And there's some damage with Jesse Love and Corey Day as well with the 00 who had hit the inside wall, though the 2 and the 17 didn't necessarily get against the wall, I don't think. Or at least the inside wall, maybe the outside wall. There's quite a bit of damage on the 2 of Love and then the right front fender of Corey Day, who was in 6th on the restart. And I believe Love and Creed were just in front of him. Caution is out again, and as the old saying is, cautions breed cautions. That is exactly the case here this afternoon at the Texas Motor Speedway. My goodness. 7th caution of the day. 2nd one of stage 3. Allgaier did get to the lead just before the caution came out. It looked like Corey Day tried to go 3 wide up the middle, and the hole closed on him very quickly. There's a late move to get his nose in there. So when Cole Custard had moved up, he thought he was going to have a little bit more room. Or sorry, Cole Custard. I make that mistake so many times throughout the course of the season. When Sheldon Creed had moved up, he had clipped the nose of the 17 and then ricocheted into Love. Love had bounced off the outside wall. Obviously, the 00 of Creed slams the inside wall pretty hard. I don't think Creed's going to be able to continue. I'd like to think that Day and Love will be able to continue, but obviously with significant damage. 24th place Mason Massey will get the free pass and get back on the lead lap. Eckes is still out of the race. Josh Williams is out, as well as Garrett Smithley from the what is now second to last caution, the first yellow of stage 3. I'd imagine Sheldon Creed will join them in the garage and maybe some others as well. Again, we'll have to wait and see on the update for the Jesse Love and Corey Day side of things as to if they will exactly be able to continue or not. It did look like Day just had his nose in there. Creed moved up, not expecting the 17 car to be on that right rear corner panel, and it was a very, very, very tight window for Corey Day. He had a good race going. 00 definitely could have given him a little bit more room. I just don't think he was there. I should say I don't think he knows he was there because of how late off of turn 2 it was before Day had gotten in between Creed and Love. Love is on pit road right now. Same for Corey Day, repairing damage following the incident. Once they cycle towards the back of the lead lap, or maybe just off the lead lap, we'll go through the full field running order with just less than 95 laps to go in the race. Xfinity Fastest Lap Award still goes to Justin Allgaier at this point. Kyle Larson on the last couple restarts has driven his way up to 4th, which is as high as he's been since the end of Stage 1 where he was 2nd. All right, so our leaderboard has updated a bit here. Justin Allgaier is our race leader. Austin Hill in 2nd. Nick Sanchez 3rd. Kyle Larson 4th. Brandon Jones in 5th. Ryan Sieg 6th. Harrison Burton in 7th. Leland Honeyman 8th. Matt DiBenedetto 9th. And William Sawalich is 10th. Jeb Burton in 11th. Daniel Dye 12th. Parker Retzlaff 13th. Brendan Poole 14th. And Jeremy Clements 15th. Riley Herbston 16th. Taylor Gray 17th. Anthony Alfredo 18th. Jesse Love 19th. And Sam Mayer 20th. Sammy Smith just hit pit road. He's 21st. Corey Day on pit road still 22nd. Mason Massey will get the free pass. He's 23rd. Ryan Ellis lap down in 24th. Same for Blaine Perkins in 25th. Mason Maggio in 26th. Kyle Sieg 27th. Nick Lights 28th. Carson Quapple 29th. And Dean Thompson in 30th. Joey Gase 31st. Josh Balicki 32nd. Catherine Legg 33rd is 2 laps down. Chris Wright is also 2 down at 34th. Sheldon Creed is 35th, 36th for Garrett Smithley, Josh Williams 37th, and Christian Eckes rounds out our 38-car field for today's Xfinity race. Haven't completed a green flag lap yet in the stage. Currently lap 17. Here's Josh Williams after exiting the infield care center.
Some couple guys got in the grass, and I guess I got the worst end of it. So Reed even said something to me about it. He's like, grass, and it's just too late. So it's unfortunate. You know, we had a really fast Allen Employer Services Chevrolet, almost as fast as Xfinity Mobile until we started to mow the lawn there. So if we were racing lawnmowers, I'd be looking pretty good, but we're not. These are stock cars. So just hate it for everybody at Colic. We'll enjoy our weeks off here, regroup, and be back to Charlotte.
We've seen a number of cautions today. Do you feel like that's a product of not having practice yesterday?
I think it's just a product of where certain people started at the beginning of the race. You know, a lot of the people that started closer to the front don't have a lot of laps here, or some of them have none, right? So I think that's just a product of it. Now, I'm not sure. I can't tell you why.
Good analysis there from Josh Williams. It's good to see he's big, not taking too heavy, lighthearted.
That's right.
Well, it was Josh Williams again. He was caught up in the first incident of Stage 3, knocked him out of the race. Assuming Sheldon Creed is not going to be able to continue, I would imagine we'll end up getting an interview at some point in time with him. It does look like Creed is back in his car down pit road so he can head to the garage area as his day will be done. We're going to end up having almost 20 laps complete by the time we get to the restart, and we have yet to complete a green flag lap in the first 20 here for stage number 3, between the stage caution laps and then first caution of the stage and now the second caution of the stage. We're at where we're at. Ethan Chua, welcome into the stream. Shout out to you. Yellow after yellow after yellow. Yes, indeed. 59 likes on the stream. We've gotten to our goal of 50, but we'll see if we can keep that streak alive to get to 100 for the 4th consecutive NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Thank you again all for tuning in for today's live commentary stream. And this will be our last live commentary stream for a week. We'll be back on Saturday night next weekend. Saturday evening into Saturday night. NASCAR Cup Series practice and qualifying will be taking place in the evening hours at the Kansas Speedway. That will be our next live commentary stream, followed by the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Race that Saturday night. We'll be live for the NASCAR Cup Race next Sunday afternoon, which will be our first live commentary stream for the Cup Series in 4 weeks at that time. Can't wait to get back to it. I know I've been updating a lot, but I'm just saying that because I know if you're regular viewers of the channel and don't know that I'm going to be at Texas Motor Speedway tomorrow, there will not be a live commentary stream once again. I was saying it a lot during the Talladega races last week, and I still had comments on the race highlight video saying, well, what, you're not streaming today, or how come you're not streaming? And I'm literally posting the videos at the track. I can't do the live commentary while I'm at the racetrack itself. It's not possible. I would not have the equipment necessary to be able to do that or pull that off. If I could, I would. That would be the ultimate option. I mean, I would do that for every race if I could afford it. But I don't have the ability to do so. I was going to take my camera in. I haven't told this on stream yet this weekend, but I was going to take my camera in for the Cup Series race in Talladega last Sunday. And then one of the security people, like yellow vest people, when you're going in through the main gate, they were telling me I couldn't bring the camera in. And I've had this channel now, well, I mean, we've been doing race highlight videos from the grandstands, all that stuff, 2022 on to now, and I've been to so many races since then. And I've been to races even before I had the YouTube channel where I was like taking videos and stuff from the racetrack and never been told that I couldn't bring my camera in. And he said that I couldn't bring it in. And I was kind of having a fit with him, and one way or another I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm not going to win this battle. So I go back down this hill on the front stretch of Talladega. For those of you that haven't been there, there's a giant hill. I was walking up to get to my area, my entrance, which would have been towards the flag stand, which is about 2/3 of the way down the front stretch of Talladega. So I walk all the way down that hill. I go through the next entrance towards the bottom, and they let me in perfectly fine. They didn't even say anything. So that guy was he was trying to go above and beyond for his job for whatever reason. I still kind of befuddled at the fact that he said that I couldn't bring my camera into the... I have this... He tried to claim... I don't have the camera actually on me at this moment. Otherwise, I would probably turn my camera on just for a quick second to show you guys. I'll have to show you next week. But he tried to claim that I had like a selfie stick, and you can't bring selfie sticks in, even though it was just a stabilizer that's the size... My hand is literally bigger than the actual stabilizer itself. So it was very small. It was just so that way I don't have any camera shake while I'm filming. Filming, taking pictures, whatever I'm, doing, obviously, at the track. So he tried to say it was a selfie stick, and it clearly was not. I was trying to tell him it wasn't. And then he made the comment of, they're not going to let you in there with that. I said, no, you're not going to let me in there with that. Everybody else would. And then we're just getting upset at each other. It wasn't going anywhere, so I backed out of it. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then I just go to a different entrance. That was that. It was comical after the fact. In the moment, I was kind of ticked off because I didn't think I was going to be able to get my camera in there. I'm like, this is literally what I do. Like, do I have to go all the way and try to get credentials from the ticket office just to get into the main gate for the race ticket that I ended up paying for? That doesn't make any sense. I was going to find a way. There's a little bit of a rant. Andrew, thanks for tuning in. They did wave off the restart. We were supposed to be going green that last time by. Just being lazy. I wouldn't say that. I do have my comfy pants on. I won't lie about that. But I also have had comfy pants on before when doing these live commentary streams because I'm shot from the torso up. But no, I'm not at home for this weekend stream, so that's why we don't have the camera up this weekend. All right, let's see if we can get a green flag lap in this time around. We've got Justin Allgaier and Austin Hill on the front row. Green flag is going to be back in the air. 88 laps to go in stage 3, and we have yet to have a green flag lap in the first 23 here in this final stage. Hill trying to retake the lead that he had lost on the restart a couple times ago from Justin Allgaier, but Allgaier on the inside, who has mastered the restarts from the front row so far today, masters another, and he is well clear. Austin Hill falls behind yet again, and it's going to be Nick Sanchez in the 48 car who actually takes over the second place position well before getting into turn 3. Hill falls back into third, single file as the top 8 positions on the racetrack on the second lap entering turn 1. Allgaier still has the fastest lap of the race as we enter stage 3 during green flag action. Fuel window's right around 60 laps, so again, they will not be able to make it on fuel to the end of this race from where we are at now, even if you would have topped off on fuel during the last couple of cautions. Allgaier's lead's already out to 0.8 of a second over Nick Sanchez since the restart. Kyle Larson moves past Austin Hill that last lap for third place. He's 1.2 seconds off the lead, and Austin Hill now a second and a half back and forth. New fastest lap of the race, though, it is still Justin Allgaier laying down the fastest lap time. A 30.034 was the lap he just ticked away, which is insane, the difference in lap time between the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series, because the Cup pole time earlier today was a 28.1 for Carson Hocevar, and we've got these Xfinity Series cars running almost 2 seconds slower a lap. The mid-corner speeds with the next-gen car are just so much higher on these intermediate tracks, and especially Texas, where there isn't as much off-throttle time because of the grip level in the racetrack, the tires with not falling off a lot. And that's why we've seen some drivers get into some trouble, some hard crashes on the mile-and-a-half track at Texas in the next-gen era here these last couple of years. It's going to be a fast racetrack. It's going to be a slick racetrack because of the speed, not because of the wear level of the tires or the grip in the track itself. And that's probably why we've seen a lot of cautions already with the inexperience in the Truck and Xfinity Series races so far this weekend. Already 7 cautions in this Xfinity Series race. We had 11 last night in the truck race, and we still have just over 80 laps to go yet in today's action. If you're just tuning in, Austin Hill did win Stage 2. Justin Allgaier was the Stage 1 winner. Allgaier has led the most laps so far today. Hill a very close second. Nobody else has led any green flag laps so far on the race. Maybe some caution laps led by other drivers, but that would have been it. Current top 10 after the restart has Allgaier in the lead, Nick Sanchez in second, Kyle Larson third, Austin Hill fourth, and Brandon Jones in fifth. Sixth is Ryan Sieg, Harrison Burton seventh, Jeb Burton in eighth. Leland Honeyman in ninth. Great run for him after having an early spin on the opening lap. And then William Sawalich rounds out the top 10. Also a good comeback. He started deep in the field as a result of another poor finish last weekend at Talladega. He didn't score a lot of stage points because of starting deep in the field today, but it's been a long time coming. And he is in dire need of having a good finish if he wants to start clicking away good finishes and have a chance to point his way into the Xfinity Series playoff field, because otherwise he's going to have to get a win. And I haven't really seen that kind of speed out of Sawalich yet on the Xfinity Series season. Honeyman just 20 years of age. Feels like he's been around a lot longer than that. Didn't realize how young he was, but he's having a great day today. And usually in the Cup Series, we give the underdog of the race award, but with not doing the live commentary stream tomorrow for the Cup race, I would say that Leland Honeyman could get the underdog of the race award for this Xfinity Series event, the way things have gone thus far. Wendy Troutman, welcome to the stream. Weather better than yesterday. Where I'm at, yes. Yeah, yesterday during the truck race, it was thunderstorm pretty bad last night. At the very start of the stream, you guys might have heard some thunder crackling in the background. But weather is very good today. It's going to be sunny. All the storms, basically, that were going through in the afternoon around the Fort Worth area ended up hitting me about another hour or so after Xfinity Series practice and qualifying. So all that stuff a little bit further south ended up blowing through, but we are good. And sunny day here today. Obviously at the track as well, and it'll be sunny tomorrow. Nice mid to upper 70s. Not as much wind. Shouldn't roast myself in the bleachers like I did last weekend. Pace cars led the most laps. Yeah, that's probably true. That is probably true. Scream over the cars, yeah. Yeah, I'll get right on that. Yeah, that'll be a little loud too. Maybe if I had like a suite or something, I could maybe pull that off. That'd be like I'm in the actual booth. You'd hear the rumbling of the cars, but it wouldn't be, overbearing. The only problem with that is there's going to be other people in there, so it's probably going to hear more than just my voice. Rent one out just for myself, just to call a race every weekend. Imagine that tax write-off at the end of the year. Oh man, if I could do that at every race, what a dream that would be. Maybe if I win the lottery. Problem is I don't play the lottery, so I guess I'll never end up winning it. Kyle Larson is up to the second place position. He made a pass on Nick Sanchez within the last few laps. Do have a slow car in the back straightaway. No caution this time. Catherine Legg in the 32 seems to have a left front tire down. As long as the carcass doesn't come off the tire, we will stay green. She is slow, but she is in the apron of the racetrack at turns 3 and 4, so she's almost back to the pits. She's had a very rough go of her stock car racing career so far this season. 22 cars are currently on the lead lap. Anthony Alfredo, the last of which on the lead lap in the 42 car. Corey Day, even with the damage sustained during the last caution, is back up to 13th. Relatively quick recovery there. Jesse Love, who also had damage, though, a little bit more than Day had, is only up to 18th, a few positions gained from the restart. Larson's 1.4 seconds off the race leader, Justin Allgaier. And it looks like he's closing that last lap. He had a 30.649 to Allgaier's 30.713, so about 700ths of a second quicker for Larson over Allgaier. 74 laps to go this time by at the Texas Motor Speedway. No lap cars between the top two and none directly in front of our leader Allgaier, at least for the short time coming. And we've got an interview outside the Infield Care Center with Sheldon Creed.
Yeah, I mean, frustrating for Ford Mustang for the first time in a while. I felt like I was a good restart and getting the lead away from having a shot at winning. And that's a really good feeling. And felt really good in the car. And, I don't know. I missed the beginning of that, but I was focused on racing the 2. He was pretty close to my door. And I think the 17 was just kind of not poke middle, but just was down a lane and got me in the right rear course. So I don't know, just frustrating. 3 out of 4 weeks now getting wrecked. So proud of everyone at Haas Factory team. I feel like this was the first week where their cars drove really good. Maybe because we didn't have practice to let me mess it up. So just headed in the right direction, get a couple weeks off to reset and get back swinging.
Sheldon Creed did my stats. DNFs in 3 of the last 4 races.
Drop my controller. We're good. That's what that sound was. If you heard a pop. Hardwood floor is what it landed on, but it didn't break. We're good. We're good. It landed face down. It was on the rubber side with the buttons. Still a 1.4 second lead for Allgaier and Larson. Larson, who had a 700th of a second quicker lap time a few laps ago, just kind of trading lap times back and forth with the driver who is leading the way so far. Again, Larson has not led any laps yet. He did have a penalty when he finished second at the end of stage 1. At stage 1 pit stop, he ended up having an uncontrolled tire. Not he, but the pit crew specifically had the uncontrolled tire penalty. Forced him to go to the back. He got to 11th by the end of stage 2. With the restarts we had to begin stage 3, he has now leaned himself into second. We've only been green during this current green flag run for about 17 laps. It is the third longest green flag run of the day. The longest so far was just under 40 laps, where stage 2 actually went caution-free. So despite the fact we've seen 7 yellows, there were none in stage 2. They were all stage 1 and stage 3 so far in the events. And that will obviously stay the same as we're beyond stage 2. As far as the current race running order, we'll go through that again quickly. 70 laps to go. Justin Allgaier leads. Kyle Larson is second. Nick Sanchez third. And Austin Hill fourth. Brandon Jones in fifth. Ryan Sieg is sixth. Harrison Burton seventh. William Sawalich in eighth. Matt DiBenedetto up to ninth. And Jeb Burton rounds out the top 10. Corey Day in 11th. Riley Herbst in 12th. Daniel Dye in 13th. Leland Honeyman 14th. And Parker Retzlaff 15th. Jesse Love is 16th, Taylor Gray 17th, Jeremy Clements 18th, Sam Mayer 19th, and Sammy Smith 20th. 21st for Brennan Poole, Anthony Alfredo 22nd, Kyle Sieg 23rd, Mason Massey 24th, and 25th is Carson Quapple. Ryan Ellison 26th, Blaine Perkins 27th, 28th, Joey Case 29th, and Nick Lace is 30th. Dean Thompson 2 laps down at 31st, Josh Balicki 4 laps down at 32nd, Chris Wright also 4th and 33rd, and Garrett Smithley in 34th. Catherine Legg, who hit pit road on schedule a few laps ago, is now 7 laps down at 35th. 3 cars out of the race. Sheldon Cray, 36th. Josh Williams, 37th. And Christian Eckes in 38th. 5 lead changes in the race today. 7 cautions, as I mentioned already. 5 of them for incident 3 in stage 1, 2 in stage 3. And the stage yellows at lap 45 and lap 90 are the 7. Justin Allgaier has led the most laps in the race so far. It continues to lead here at the Texas Motor Speedway. We'll take our second to last break. You're listening live on KRC to the Indy's Frozen Custard 300 at Texas Motor Speedway. Sharitha Cooper, welcome to the stream. Why is Larson in so many other races? Well, this is his 3rd Xfinity race of the season. And he is only allowed to run up to 5. So he would have 2 more left on the year that he could participate in. This weekend he wasn't supposed to race, but he's in it because of the injured Connor Zilic. And he's got a shot to win, obviously, anytime he's in one of these Xfinity Series cars. And so far, he's had a pretty good performance at it. I mentioned already a couple times Allgaier's had the fastest lap of the race. He's had it for a while, and then he set his fastest lap again during stage 3. 29.824 is his fastest lap overall. That's over a tenth of a second quicker than the second fastest lap of the race, which is still ran by Austin Hill in the 21 much earlier in the day. Larson has closed to within a half a second of Justin Allgaier for the lead with 64 laps to go.
50 somewhere in there. We have a bunch of caution laps that could extend it a little bit further. You have a couple cars who pitted a little later, so they might go even longer, just trying to stretch that out. But we definitely expect green flag stops in the next 10 or 15 laps or so.
You look at our bumper, and this is, laps since they last made a pit stop. But if you go over outside the top 10, Corey Day, Riley Herbst, those are drivers, Daniel Dye, that would be candidates to run it long here and put themselves in a position of everything timed out and the caution comes out. They'd have an opportunity to take advantage. And as we start talking about green flag pit stops, we can't lose sight of the fact that Kyle Larson is right in the hip pocket of Justin Allgaier for the race lead.
I feel like I'm back at Bristol again.
Yes.
These two going at it once again. Maybe roles reversed slightly this time. The 7 car has been the dominant one. Larson in that 88 going in for Connor Zilic. He's had to work through the field twice now.
Just went around Carson Quapple, putting him 2 laps down. Their teammate, who's had a host of issues today in the 1 for Junior Motorsports.
Going into a host of traffic here. This will be tough for Justin to navigate. You want them all to stay in the same line there as you see those 2 staying to the bottom, but now having these 3 cars ahead of them as well. You don't want them to get side by side. That will really slow you up.
So 22 cars on the lead lap. And the last of those, Anthony Alfredo. You take a caution right now. Basically, in your window, stay on the lead lap. It's going to be a challenge.
And this is not what Justin wants to see in front of him. You don't want to go much higher than where he is right there.
You know, it was lap traffic that compromised his momentum here last year, talking about Allgaier when he was in the race lead. There he goes around Alfredo, putting him a lap down. Next car he'll see, the 44 of Brennan Poole, also on the lead lap, scored in 21st.
He actually got away from Kyle Larson a little bit through that traffic. To me,
Got away from him initially, but off turn 4, it looked like a little bit more time was gained back by Kyle Larson. Larson in the dirty air of the lap car of Brendan Poole in the 44, who had just fallen off the lead lap. So now we're down to 20 cars on the lead lap. Sammy Smith in the 8 is the last of which he had a little bit of nose damage from that earlier incident all the way back on lap 1. And that's why we haven't seen Sammy Smith up in the top 10 at all throughout the course of the race so far today. We're a few laps shy of the halfway mark of stage number 3. And we are in that final fuel window if anybody wanted to try and short pit. But again, with the lack of tire wear, we'll see. Riley Herbst is going to come to pit road, trying to short pit. Herbst was in the 10th place position. And we have our first taker on the pit road.
But when you talk about fuel and tires, but they come down, assume it's scheduled with 59 to go, Kim.
Yeah, Riley Hurts, just a little loose entry. What's the duration of the grip to last for him? You see those 4 first Goodyear tires, slide adjustment, snowbook fuel, and he is done with his pit stop.
Battle for the lead. Larson to the inside of Justin Allgaier off turn 2. Allgaier had a slip up in the center of the corner, and Larson's going to be able to try to slide up and clear him into 3. He overdrives it. He gets into him. A little bit of contact, and Allgaier's going to drive on. Both drivers barely able to hold on to it. They almost threw it away. First, Allgaier about threw away the lead, and then Larson about threw away the race for both of them. Very slight contact up off of turn 4 in that battle. Kyle Larson had a big surge of momentum down the back straight. He flatlined the entry into 3, was looking for the slide job, and as he slid up, he was not clear, and then bobbled, which led to the slight contact between the two cars. They live to fight another lap. They're still 2.7 seconds ahead of the third-place car of Nick Sanchez, and Larson's now back to being a half a second off the lead again. Riley Herbst, who just exited pit road, is not that far behind him. Looking on lap himself with slightly fresher tires. He's right behind the 88 of Larson. Herbst, the only lead lap car to hit pit road so far during this wave of stops. Looks like William Sawalich is now in also for Joe Gibbs Racing.
it's now to build more of a gap, Kim.
Yeah, and you see the 18 of William Sawalich. Pretty good rebound for him after having an uncontrolled tire earlier in the race. The crew on the right side, they'll put 4 fresh Goodyear tires on that machine. William just complaining, gets a little tight on exit as they continue fuel service on this car.
So 2 JGR Toyotas that were both in the top 10 are going to pit on the front half of the run. Very slow car of Chris Wright in the 5 trying to stay out of the way of the leaders. All over the place, everybody adjusting their line with Allgaier, Larson, and Herbst. Sammy Smith, who was that last car in the lead lap still, is about to go lap down through turns 1 and 2. Allgaier to his outside. So you got 2 cars for Junior Motorsports, 1 and 2, while the other 2 have struggled today. I'd imagine that Carson Quapple's got damage because he has been outside the 20 and a lap down, and you usually wouldn't see that out of Quapple. It's 25th, 2 laps down. Now Sammy Smith's off the lead lap, while the other 2 cars are first and second. And they almost both threw it away. Really, it was on Larson. Allgaier didn't do anything wrong other than the mistake he made through 1 and 2, which allowed for Larson to get the run on him and get underneath, but Larson overstepping the boundaries just a bit. But on the bright side, he did not crash, keeps it going. And the battle for the lead continues on, even though it's not quite as tight as it was for that brief moment that they were side by side for less than half a lap. Sam Mayer making a pass on Jesse Luff for 12th on the racetrack that last lap. Just saw that position change on the CW Sports' leaderboard, bottom of the screen. Harrison Burton in the 25. Looks like he's coming to pit road next. From the 8th spot, he would have been in 10th before both Herbst and Sawalich hit pit road. Ryan Sieg is also into the pits, so 2 more of the top 10 are on their way in.
Pit stops back to Kim.
Yeah, Ryan Sieg, remember, was part of that finish last year with Sam here, where he ended up second. Wanted to kind of get redemption here. We haven't seen him battle for the lead, but he's had a solid day running right outside the top 5. They will make a track bar adjustment. You see right there, 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel for the 39 of Ryan Sieg, Dylan.
Harrison Burton is in a little bit further down pit road as well. He started this run free, but then it started to build back tight on him throughout the course of this run. They'll change 4 tires and add fuel to 25. He's been inside the top 10 most of the day.
Scheduled green flag.
Carson Quapple. I don't know why I said Carson Quapple. The 88, Kyle Larson, is within 0.3 of a second again of our race leader, Justin Allgaier. Jeb Burton is on pit road.
Coming back top 10 finishes and good points day right now in line for that. Rebound for him, too. We talked about guys that have rebound today. They are certainly one of them after a penalty early. They'll take 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Just snug has been the trend for that car today.
Matt DiBenedetto from inside the top 10 is on the pit road. Here comes Kyle Larson from second place. Austin Hill is also in. Jesse Love is in.
Sanchez coming as well. Here they are, Kim.
Yeah, and for the 88, that's bounced between free and tight all day long. Most recently, though, Kyle telling the team it's back to loading tight. That's his biggest problem. He needs that car just to turn a little bit better. You see the chassis wrench in the back of that race car. They put on 4 fresh Goodyear tires and take Sunoco fuel, Dylan.
See, Love is in as well. And they hit it and had multiple stops for that damage on the 2 car. Car's been pretty good. Jesse said he felt fine, just a little bit draggy, but he's been able to drive it back inside the top 10. They'll pit for 4 tires and fuel as well.
So this will be an interesting cycle as we were watching Justin Allgaier caught in a ton of traffic there as the 88 Kyle Larson is on pit road. We'll see when they want to react to what the 88 team has done. I was looking at some of the lap times. There's not an immense difference in newer tires, but it is a difference, Dylan.
Austin Hill is in. He'll pit from the 4th spot, and we heard him talking about how tight he was. That hasn't gotten any better. He was asking for wedge adjustments, tire pressure adjustments, basically all of it under the course of that green flag run. He'll pit here. You see the wrench in the back window to make a chassis adjustment. Expect they'll make an air pressure adjustment as well to try and get this 21 car sorted out for Austin Hill. Brandon Jones in as well. He felt like he didn't have any front grip at the start of the run, but it started to come back to him. He's been inside the top 5, and right of the screen, Allgaier is in as well.
Justin Allgaier making his pit stop 1 lap after Kyle Larson. So how will this merge out and does pitting 1 lap earlier, getting those fresher tires pay off for driver 88? Now, this won't be the battle for the lead right now, but it will be once everything cycles through, unless the caution comes out. That would shake things. Here comes the 7 off the pit lane. There is the 88 into turn 1. Kyle Larson.
Oh, easily.
I was going to say, I expected to be advantage Kyle Larson. He had the newer tires, and Justin Allgaier spent 2 or 3 laps stuck in a mess of traffic that really slowed up his lap times. That hurt him before getting on pit road. Advantage 88 team.
Being a few seconds behind Kyle Larson, I almost wonder if it was a slow stop for the 7 team as well. So Sam Mayer, Daniel Dye, Taylor Gregg, Jeremy Clements, Sammy Smith, Leland Honeyman, Anthony Alfredo, Brennan Poole are the only drivers that still have to hit pit road. There are 8 cars that have not yet made their final pit stop of the day, or at least final one during green flag conditions, if it does stay green to the very end. We're at 45 laps to go this time by the line. These are the first laps led for Sam Mayer in the race during these green flag pit cycles. So we got the Andy's Frozen Custard car leading laps in the Andy's Frozen Custard 300. There you go. They're doing it for the title sponsor because bonus points, remember, are not on the line anymore for laps led. Otherwise, you could say that could have been the case, but that will not be the case. No, in actuality, they're staying out, hoping for a caution, and we have one. Justin Allgaier is in the wall. Off of turn 4, he has hit hard. And now he looks to be maybe stuck in the grass. He's trying to keep the car moving so he doesn't get stuck, but the front end is just dragging, it's planted, and that's going to be it for Allgaier, at least by way of trying to get the race win, because he's going to fall off the lead lap with this caution. He might have actually already been a lap down at the time of the yellow as it is because of pitting. Allgaier's out of the race car and very frustrated. After leading the most laps to this point in the event, fell behind on pit strategy just a bit with Larson and now up against the wall, and his day is over. He was catching Chris Wright and just ran right into the back of Wright off the exit of turn 4. Noses the outside wall after the contact with the 5, and across the grass he went. He was catching Chris Wright all the way through the corner. And it was hard to tell if Wright had slid up into him and took his line away at the last second, or if he was just kind of running his natural line. And then, I mean, either way, he didn't keep the car pinned to the bottom. Allgaier had the outside and was running. It was kind of similar to the Catherine Legg and William Sawalich deal at Rockingham a few weeks ago, where just misjudging and mistiming the slowness of the lap car, that the faster cars up in the front of the field were fastly approaching.
I feel like in that position, where Chris was, he was sort of on the bottom and then sort of moved up and sort of lost the car.
Okay.
The pace they're going. So we look here once again from the aerial, the team's saying, hey, you got to hold one lane. He entered on the top, he's at the bottom, and now he sort of moves up, and that just makes it so unpredictable for Justin.
Yeah.
To try.
Okay, it was hard for me to gauge there, so I wanted to listen to the broadcast, see what Parker Klickman had to say about it. Some of the team communications, they kind of agree that Chris Wright was in the wrong, his own team. In fact, with that being the case. Well, this is exactly the caution Sam Mayer wanted. He stayed out for this reason, hoping to get a quick yellow, and it's his former teammate, Justin Allgaier, is going to be the one to do it. After making contact with the back of the lap car of Chris Wright, I would imagine that Wright might be done for the day, although he was able to drive his car back to pit road, not the case for Allgaier. Wright was well off the lead lap, and I believe he was actually the last car on the track of those that were still running at the time of the incident. Handful of laps down. Eckes Williams for Colleague Racing out. Sheldon Creed's out. And now Justin Allgaier's out. Maybe Chris Wright as well. Let's see here. We only had 12 cars on the lead lap, with the caution being in the middle of green flag pit stops. William Sawalich in 13th will get the free pass as being the first car lap down. Kyle Larson, Nick Sanchez, and Austin Hill. Check that. Larson, Sanchez, Hill, and Jones were the only 4 drivers of those that hit pit road were actually on the lead lap when the caution flag had come out. So they're probably going to stay out of the pits and be 1 through 4. Everybody else on the lead lap that hasn't pit yet will pit. And line up just behind them on a handful of lap pressure tires. Pit road should be open this time by. We'll also have 41 laps to go at the start-finish line this time by. Final pit stops of the day for those that haven't pit yet, barring any more cautions we may see from now to the finish.
He's going to pit. Even though he's going to pit the guy that's leading this race, for now, Sam Mayer, the guy that got the checkered flag here a season ago. Here comes Mayer and others, Kim.
And Sam saying the car's pretty good despite that damage he sustained earlier. You see him at the top there. He said it did build a number or 2 throughout the run, so they will take a slight air pressure adjustment. Middle there. Tight is the word on pit road for all of these drivers. Taylor Gray reporting need to be freer. He's just too tight on landing, and that car running just a little bit hot. And Daniel Dye there at the very bottom. That driver coming into this race with 2 straight top 10s. For a third, Kevin Walter telling us, no reason we can't finish top 10s here today. We have the speed. I can just keep a little bit freed up so he has better turn in that race car.
When the green flag, when the caution flag comes.
When we do go back to racing, and really even this next lap by at the start-finish line, Kyle Larson's going to be in the lead, and it will be our 8th lead change of the race. We're under our 8th caution of the race, our 3rd in Stage 3 for incident. We had 3 of them in Stage 1 for incident, and the 2 stage yellows at lap 45 and lap 90 so far. That was the longest green flag run of the day, as it lasted just over 40 laps. About 45 laps there. And again, first time Kyle Larson has led at the Texas Motor Speedway here this afternoon. Nick Sanchez is going to be in second, Austin Hill third, Brandon Jones fourth, Ryan Sieg and Sam Mayer the top half dozen. And they'll be in those front few rows on the restart. We had a photo finish in the Xfinity race at Texas last season on a late race restart, a couple of them in the final 20 laps. We'll see if we have something similar here this year. So we'll take a quick break. You're listening live on KRC to the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Texas. Yeah, feed the dogs today. I know. The dogs are at home. Got over 130 people in the chat. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button again if you have not done so. And subscribe for more live commentary streams like this every NASCAR race weekend. We'll have the usual setup back. The usual leaderboard back. But thank you all for tuning into this stream here today. And really all the way through the weekend between last night's truck race and then the Cup Series practice and qualifying run earlier today also. We're going to have a little less than 40 laps to go in this Texas Motor Speedway Xfinity Series race. Brief post-race for these Xfinity Series races. You'll get to hear an interview from whoever goes on to win. We'll go through the finishing results, and as well, we will go through any other interviews that you will get to listen in as well before we go off the air in that short, roughly 5-minute or so time frame. Trying to get to a like goal of 100. It's kind of an updated goal. We did get to our goal of 50, but we're trying to keep the streak alive of 4 straight Xfinity races to hit 100 likes on the channel. So we'll see if we can do that. The odds are against us this week with the different setup, but many of you have tuned in yet again here today. So again, greatly appreciate that. We are still 31 likes shy of 100, but we have well more than that many people watching. So see if we can get it, people. Well, it was Larson and Allgaier, the 2 fastest cars of the day. Now Allgaier's out, and it's up to Kyle Larson. Some hungry drivers at the front of the field, especially Nick Sanchez, who's had good runs at Texas in the Truck Series in years past. A rookie in the Xfinity Series having his first start here in this series at this track. He's been top 5 all day. Can he find a way to get to the lead for the first time in the late going? He's probably going to be on the front row with Kyle Larson. Be a heck of an upset if a rookie can get by Larson on a late restart. Let alone anybody at this rate. Austin Hill has not been great on the restarts today. He's going to be lining up likely in row 2. Allgaier beat him twice when Hill was the control car. With who we have up there, I just don't like any of them beating Larson. Even on a restart heads up, I mean, it's going to take Larson to make a monumental mistake for something like that to happen, which isn't impossible, but definitely Larson's race to give away, if he is to give it away at this point on. Here's Justin Allgaier outside the infield care center with Kim Kuhn.
Me through what exactly happened.
Well, we almost got wiped out right before the game bike stopped by the same car, and going to the middle of 3 and 4 there. He went up and then turned down and then went back up, and then I tried to go to the bottom and he lifted and went back down, and just frustrating day. I hate it for all of our guys, everybody in this Jerry Logistics Chevrolet. Obviously had a really fast car. Having a great battle with Kyle there, and we lost a little bit of time on the pit stop, but I still thought that, if the race plays out the way that it should, we were going to have a great shot at it. And I'm frustrated today. I'm frustrated myself. Just, I'll go back and watch the film and figure out what I can do different.
Top 5 cars had made a green flag pit stop. Top 5 prior to the choose, so they stay out here. Mayor.
Yeah, definitely a tough break there for Justin Allgaier. Green flag is back in the air. Larson inside of row 1 as the control car for the restart. Got a great push from behind by Austin Hill in the 21. Hill will battle for second into the first turn now with Nick Sanchez, who holds him tight around the bottom of the racetrack. Sanchez up on the outside. Not going to be able to clear the 21 for that spot yet. A lot of door-to-door racing inside the top 10 headed for turn 3 as the field gets to speed. Ryan Sieg in the 39 on the inside of Brandon Jones looking for back-to-back Texas top 5s in the Xfinity Series. Sieg slides up. Jones is clear of him. And Sieg must have had a mishap on the bottom lane because he actually got passed by Taylor Gray. Another car quickly to his outside, which seems to be Sammy Smith in the 8, who, as far as this race goes here today, is Mr. Where did he come from because he had damage. And now he is flirting with the potential top 5 run late. Sanchez and Hill have been side-by-side for second for the first 2 laps following the restart now. They'll be door-to-door at the start-finish line. Sanchez side drafts a left-rear corner panel on the bottom of the track. Hill still up high. Taylor Gray was able to not only make his way by Ryan Sieg, but he also got by Brandon Jones that last lap, and Gray's got ahead of steam looking for third on Austin Hill, who finally loses the battle to that of Sanchez. Sanchez in second. Runs the upper line. Clean air on the nose for the 21 as Larson pulls away. He's already over a second ahead of the cars just behind him. 34 laps to go here at the Texas Motor Speedway. $18 cars on the lead lap. Sammy Smith has lost a few spots after initially getting to 6th on the restart. He has now fallen to 9th as Daniel Dye, Ryan Sieg, and Sam Mayer have all passed him in recent laps. Shout out to Daniel Dye up to 6th place. Great run. He's the only one of the 3 colleague Chevys that are still in the race, and the rookie is having a great performance here. Trying to get his way into the Xfinity Series playoff field. He came in 13th in points, single digits out of 12th on Harrison Burton, and he has been outrunning Burton to this point of the race. Burton is in 13th. A handful of spots behind him. But yeah, quiet but solid day for Dye. 1.6 seconds the difference between Larson and Sanchez. It was about 1.1 seconds a few laps ago. Big Machine Racing, only career victory was in 2022. Tyler Reddick from the Cup Series was able to win an Xfinity Series event for them, and Nick Sanchez in second as of right now, although he's not running down Kyle Larson, trying to put himself in a position where he can restart on the front row if we do catch another restart. Sanchez was in second place for that last restart and actually elected the inside line behind Larson, which gave Austin Hill the top, and he was able to get back into second a couple laps after the fact. Have to wait and see if he ends up trying to do something similar yet again if we do get another caution before the finish. Only 4 cars out of the race, and again 18 of them on the lead lap. Justin Allgaier, who had won stage 1, is out. Austin Hill, who won stage 2, is in third. First time Larson has led today and continues to grow out that lead. Doesn't want to make it close. He clearly has the fastest car of those remaining. I still think he was faster than Justin Allgaier. Never had the track position to really show for it. He got close to passing him a couple times during that last green flag run before the green flag pit stops. Once he cycled ahead of him, I feel like it would have been game over had it stayed green to the end. Maybe a restart or two, Allgaier could have beat him because Allgaier had gotten the restart at least from Austin Hill, despite not being the control car on 2 occasions already today. But I just don't see any of these other drivers taking it from him. I mean, you could consider on most weeks maybe Austin Hill, but the restarts today specifically for Hill have just not been good. And that's when he's been the control car, and as not the control car. We even saw that last time. He got passed by Nick Sanchez, who was in the row behind him. Couldn't keep up with Larson any more than the entry to turn one, if that. Last lap, Larson was about 0.3 quicker than Nick Sanchez. 30.459 for Larson to Sanchez's 30.769. 3.4 second difference. Austin Hill still staying close, at least the longer this run goes, to that of Sanchez. And that 21 car, that team has done a great job trying to get the handling right on Hill's Chevrolet. He was very loose in the early going of the race. And definitely doesn't seem to be anywhere near as free. But he's still able to get the car to go where he wants it to. He fell out of the top 5 pretty early on the speed side of things before making that first adjustment at the end of stage 1 with his first pit stop. And he's pretty much been running top 5 ever since, and really top 3 for the most part, considering he won stage 2. At that track position, he was at least strong enough to keep Allgaier behind him. In traffic, still fast enough to keep it up around 2nd and 3rd. Hill to the inside of Sanchez, trying to take 2nd place back through turns 3 and 4. Just a brief moment he was side by side with him. Sanchez gets the run on the higher line off the exit of the corner, pulls Hill a bit down the front stretch. As they head for turns 1 and 2, both of them are going to run that slightly wider lane through the middle of 1 and 2. And off of the white line. They pulled away slightly from Taylor Gray, who got initially right behind both of them not all that long ago. Really, the first couple laps after the restart, Gray had rocketed up to 4th and was right behind that side-by-side battle for Sanchez and Hill, because it took about 2 to 3 laps for Sanchez to finally clear Hill when they first got back going under green. Sam Mayer battling with Brandon Jones for 5th. Looks like Mayer's going to make the pass and get back into the top 5. He was in the lead when the caution flag had come out that last time, so he's one of the first cars of those that ended up pitting for 4 fresh tires. I believe Taylor Gray was also on that strategy and is in 4th. Three-second gap nearly between Gray and Mayer on the racetrack. Tight battle right now for 8th between Sammy Smith and Ryan Sieg. Smith has actually just passed Sieg within the last couple of laps. Jeremy Clements is up into the top 10 in the 51 car for the first time today as well, just behind Ryan Sieg. He's within a half a second of him. Tightest battle for position, though, is still that battle for 2nd going on between the 48 and the 21. Laps are winding down for Kyle Larson. He's hoping it stays green and everything stays in his control from here to the end. Most positions gained since the restart. He got up 5 spots for Jesse Love to 11. Despite the damage that he has, Carson Kvapil up 5 positions as well, although he is a lap down still in 22nd. 4 spots lost for Ryan Sieg from 5th back to 9th. And William Sawalich also backwards 4 positions from 13th to 17th. So those are the biggest winners and losers. Leland Honeyman, after the restart, had pulled off the racetrack. Tough break for him. He was actually in the top 10 for a bit in stage 2. So immediately after the restart, it looked like Honeyman has pulled off the racetrack, and he is now scored in 34th. And likely done for the day if he can't return to the track in the final 20 laps. Every time they show that 8 car through the field, I feel like he's got more bear bind on it than what he did prior. Every pit stop, that team has been going to work trying to flatten the nose out as much as they can to keep any air from getting into the race car. And they've done a great job at least to try to get him back in the top 10 because he hadn't really been up there all day before that. Lead is 6 seconds between Larson and Sanchez. Larson not going to lead the most laps today at Texas like he did the first 2 races he ran in the Xfinity Series, but first, fourth, and maybe another first on his way. And the margin of victory is going to show on the box score that maybe he dominated, at least in the late going, since Allgaier had been knocked out. Hill got alongside Sanchez about 7 laps ago for a brief moment through 3 and 4. He hasn't been able to get back alongside of him since. And by the time they got to the exit of the corner off of turn 4, he had to actually slide in line behind him. He couldn't stay door to door and try to side draft and eventually make the pass, which is what he's going to need to do if he's going to want to get back into position number 2. He's got 17 laps to get it done if we don't get another caution before that. Plenty of time, but the passing here at Texas Motor Speedway, harder than any other 1.5-mile track on the circuit. As of right now, by the way, Justin Allgaier also still has the fastest lap of the race. So he is going to get that bonus point. On top of the fact that he scored the most stage points of any driver today as well. Or he ended up finishing with 19 stage points. Again, he won stage 1. He was second in stage 2 behind Hill. Hill with top 5 stage points in both stages and running in third right now in the late going. Also looking for a solid points day. Allgaier will still be the points leader at the end of the race because he came in with a 79-point cushion over Sam Mayer. Mayer running in the top 5 right now is a good shot to really reel him in and get back to within a race worth of points of Allgaier, despite all the stage points Justin scored earlier. So at least he can salvage a decent points day. The bonus point, the 19 stage points. Finishing 35th, I believe he'll end up with 22 points on the day. Side by side again for second, this time in 1 and 2. And clear off the exit of turn 2 for Austin Hill as he gets his spot back. Finally, after Sanchez had taken it from him on that last restart. And quickly into that outside lane goes Hill. Quick little side draft on that left rear corner panel. Maybe take a little bit of air off the rear spoiler of the 48 through the center of 1 and 2. But definitely never touched him. Well, maybe he did. The aerial shot, it looks like he touched him. The close-up camera didn't look like it. And it looked like he just got him arrow loose. But he did what he needed to do to make the pass because it's very difficult to get to do so here at Texas. I would imagine because it's Kyle Larson leading, he's going to just try to run as fast a laps as he possibly can, especially in the Xfinity Series. That's what he was doing with a massive lead at times at Homestead and Bristol. In the 2 races he has ran already this season. So I'm curious to see what the lap time difference now that Hill's in second on a little bit longer of a run is going to look like compared to Larson, and it's still about 0.3 of a second slower. Oh, we got a problem here. Kyle Larson. Oh, sorry, not Kyle Larson. Not Kyle Larson. It was the 17th car. It threw me off for a bit. Larson in the 88 today. It is Corey Day, who has gone for a spin with 13 laps to go, bringing out the caution for the 9th time here this afternoon. And it looks like he has hit that inside wall a ton. They're going to have to do some repair work there. It was in the middle of one of the corners of the racetrack. Couldn't tell which one. But that definitely looks like a big hit. Another crash for Corey Day, and this one's probably going to end his performance here with the left front damage to his car. Surprised with as much as the tire wall on the inside of the track budging, I'm surprised it didn't look like he has more damage. Definitely a tire rub on the left front. Spin took place off of turn 4. Or really in the middle of 3 and 4. And he hit the inside wall towards the exit of turn 4. They're locking it down, trying to make the save. Corey Day was just outside the top 10. He actually scored stage points in stage 2 and was as high as 6th place in the race on speed. Got caught up in an earlier incident at the beginning of stage 3 and now another one here late in stage 3. Free pass going to go to Matt DiBenedetto in 19th. Assuming Dave falls off the lead lap, we'll have 18 cars on the lead lap again to the finish. And now to pit or not to pit is going to be the question here for these crew members, I would probably lean towards staying out. If you are the leaders, I'm Kyle Larson, you got to stay out. You can't pit. He pits. I think everybody else stays out. He stays out, they pit, but I still think if he stays out, he's got the best chance to try to win this race. There's going to be a couple other cars that stay out with him. We have 18 of them on the lead lap right now. There are going to be other cars that stay out, so he's going to have a bit of a buffer. There's going to be single-digit laps left on a track with not a lot of tire fall off. If he pits here, that could end his race. He could get back to the lead, but I think his difficulty is going to be a lot higher in trying to get back out in front versus if he were to stay out here. Pit road will be open this time by, and we will have 10 laps to go at the line under caution.
Oh, you're all good. It's exciting. We have a caution and a restart with less than 10 laps to go.
And now it goes to what we talked about, and a lot of lap cars between the 88 and 21. So he's got a nice advantage before he comes down here, which is huge. But we've also talked about how good that 21 team has been.
Oh, he's pitting
on pit road. They said they would come on the radio, and here they are, Kim.
Wow.
Yes, and Kyle Larson telling his team, I'm not sure what I need. He said, I'm a little free to fire off. I wasn't bad that last run, but I know this run's going to be a little bit shorter. And crew chief Marty Lindley saying, I'll tighten you up just a little bit for this last little bit stint.
Brandon Jones is in as well, was running in the fifth spot. He said we were just too tight on that run, disconnected the back of the car, but didn't do anything to help the front. They'll change right side tires and air pressure adjustment as well. Go around and change the left sides as well. Austin Hill will be in as well, a little bit further down pit road. He said that he was free behind cars, but shattered the fronts as soon as he got in the 48. They'll keep making swings at it.
This is going to...
That's surprising. I cannot believe Kyle Larson pitted there. We have quite a few cars that stayed out, and he's going to be outside the top 10. I don't think he's going to win it. I just don't see it happening. Unless we get caution after caution after caution, and enough cars get knocked out of the race in front of him. But it looks like we had about a dozen cars stay out of the pits. At or near a dozen. Jones was on pit road at least the top 6. Larson won the race out of the pits. He is 7. So the top 6 cars stayed out. Austin Hill, Nick Sanchez, Taylor Gray, Sam Mayer, Jesse Love, and Anthony Alfredo were the 6 drivers that stayed out. So everybody from 7th on back will have 4 fresh tires. And by way of green flag laps on them, all those drivers that did stay out, for the most part, did not make a green flag stop and pitted under the caution, so they're really only going to have about 20 to 25 laps on their tires on a track that doesn't have a lot of wear. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that he pitted. I mean, yeah, you know that they're going to do opposite, but to prevent that, stay out. You know, other cars were going to stay out anyway, as we saw, 6 of them did. He's got the fastest car in the field, and now he's going to have to use that fastest car in the field, and anything can happen with the wildness of these restarts, especially at the Xfinity Series level. Just got a little more interesting. Yeah, definitely did. Pace cars led the most laps. Yeah, it's up there. Up there for sure. Allgaier's led quite a few, though. My dog Fulton, welcome to the stream. Big set for Allgaier, indeed. Well, Austin Hill going to be the leader on the restart. We're going to take our final break of the stream. You're listening live on KRC to the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Texas, the Indy's Frozen Custard 300. Things are going to get wild in Texas. Yeah, sorry for that false alarm again. I got this Larson. I saw the HendrickCars.com Chevy spinning. Most weekends it would be Larson, even in the Xfinity Series, but that wasn't the original sponsorship that the 88 of Connor Zillich was going to have today. What is going to happen? Austin Hill elects the inside of row number 1. Nick Sanchez will be on the outside. And this is probably the greatest opportunity Nick Sanchez is going to have in his young Xfinity Series career to try to get a win. for Big Machine Racing. That team has one win all time, and it was Tyler Reddick, a Cup regular, to go down, race that car, get them a win back in 2022. Austin Hill's lost the lead on 2 restarts already today. It's definitely not impossible. There's contact between Riley Herbst and Brennan Poole. Herbst trying to get into his pit box. Poole hit him from behind, spun him around backwards, and luckily landed kind of perfectly in his box. No pit crew members were in harm's way there, and was able to proceed with the pit stop as well as normal as he could, with the car pointed in the wrong direction. Road course style pit stop, if you will. Or what most road courses would be, at least. So green flag going to wave on the restart. We're going to have 7 laps to go. And it is going to be Nick Sanchez and Austin Hill in row 1, row 2, just behind him, Taylor Gray and Sam Mayer. Larson back in the 8th place position on the outside of row 4. First driver on fresh tires. Into the restart zone, green flag back in the air. Hill spins the tires. He's getting pushed from behind by the 54. Sanchez a lot smoother on the outside. He's getting pushed by Sam Mayer. Down to the bottom of the racetrack, Jesse Love trying to force it in 3 wide, and does. Sanchez on the outside slips up the track and might give up the lead up the middle. Here comes Sam Mayer. 3 wide for the lead down the back straightaway as they race for turn 3. Kyle Larson out of nowhere pushes Mayer into the lead into 3. Larson slides way up the racetrack after sailing it off in there right behind Mayer. Mayer is going to lead this race for the first time since leading during the middle of green flag pit stop. 6 laps to go. Larson initially got up to 2nd, but he carried way too much entry speed into 3 that last lap, and he's going to have to try to get it all back. Sanchez blocks the outside. Nowhere for Larson to go. He's boxed in with the 21 of Hill to the bottom of the racetrack. Now he'll push the 48 down the backstretch so he and both the 48 can pull clear of Austin Hill. Now Larson makes the move to the inside through 3 and 4, and he's side by side for 2nd. He's got to make quick work. 5 to go at the line. Crash! Front stretch! Sammy Smith is up against the wall, and the yellow flag's out again. And it looked like he had contact from the 21 of Austin Hill. Caution number 10. For the 2nd consecutive day, we have had 10-plus cautions in the top 3 series at Texas Motor Speedway. We had 11 and 2 overtimes yesterday in the truck race. And we're going to be headed into overtime for the Xfinity Series race with this caution coming out with 5 laps remaining. After contact between Austin Hill and Sammy Smith. A little bit sideways on the bottom of the track. He clipped the left rear coming up the racetrack on Sammy Smith. Smith ended up in the outside wall on the front stretch. First kink of the front stretch, if you will, as well. Jeremy Clements got up against the wall off turn 2 initially on the restart and had cracked the fence pretty hard also. That was under green. So Larson was in 3rd at the time of the yellow as he was trying to make the pass on Sanchez. He was side by side, but at the time of the caution and going to the last scoring loop before that, Sanchez was still in position number 2. So Sam Mayer and Nick Sanchez will be 1-2, then Kyle Larson 3rd and Austin Hill 4th after the contact battling for 4th with Sammy Smith. And again, we will be headed to overtime. And I believe we're going to go 4 laps past the scheduled distance if we have just the 1 overtime attempt. Ton of damage on that 8-car Sammy Smith. I don't know if he's going to be able to continue. He already had a lot of damage to the nose from that earlier incident back on lap 1, and now he's got even more to the right front specifically. Both right side tires are flat. Well, if you're Sam Mayer, you'd have to imagine you take the inside of row 1. Everybody has done that today. Despite the outside has only prevailed twice, it has prevailed, but both times are by the 7 of Justin Allgaier. And he's not going to be on the front row this time, so I just feel like you have to take the bottom. And in an overtime restart, if you're in 2nd like Nick Sanchez is, I think you take the outside of row 1 again. He had Austin Hill beat And then he slipped up the track, which allowed for Sam Mayer to go up the middle 3 wide. That extra push Mayer got from Larson was able to allow him to clear for that 3 wide move to work. This is going to get nuts. '77 likes on the stream. If you haven't hit the like button yet, be sure to do so. Subscribe for more daily, well, I wouldn't say daily because I'm still on the road, but for more weekly NASCAR content, live commentary streams every NASCAR race weekend for Truck, Xfinity, and Cup Series races. Usual setup again. We'll be back for next Saturday. We'll have a double header of live commentary content. NASCAR Cup Series practice and qualifying early Saturday afternoon. Xfinity Series racing will also, Xfinity Series will be off. It'll be the Truck Series running Saturday night next weekend at Kansas. And again, Cup practice and qualifying earlier in that afternoon. And as for the Cup Series race next Sunday at Kansas, we'll be live for that one right here on KRC. The return of the Cup Series live commentary streams. I'll be at Texas for the Cup race tomorrow afternoon, so there will be race highlights from the grandstands for that. Mayer, Sanchez, Larson, Hill, again the top 4. We had a photo finish last season between Sam Mayer and Ryan Sieg for the win at Texas. I definitely think we're shaping up for something crazy here. Kyle Larson had a better restart than I expected him to have. Goes to show I should probably never doubt Kyle Larson, but I don't think he necessarily had the win in the bag with 5 laps left. And if anything, I think the caution probably hurts him because now he's going to have less green flag laps to go from 3rd to 1st. Rather than 5 green flag laps, he's only going to have 2. And he also has to have a good launch on the restart, which he did the last time with cars in front of him. Needs to do it again. A little bit different, though, this time because he's going to be in row 2 more than likely. I doubt he's going to be on the front row. I'd be shocked if Nick Sanchez gives Larson the front row. Field will be getting the 1-to-go signal this time. Quick cleanup. Looks like we're only going to go 2 laps past the scheduled distance rather than 4. And yeah, Larson's going to be on the outside of row 2. So Sam Mayer takes the inside of row 1. Nick Sanchez outside of row 1. And then Larson from 3rd takes outside of row 2. Inside of row 2, Austin Hill. Stay tuned just after the race concludes to get an interview from today's race winner. Virtue of the CW broadcast and any other top finishers before we go off the air. We'll go through the full field finishing order as well immediately following the checkered flag. This is our first overtime attempt. Race leader gets to the white flag. Crosses the start-finish line for 1 lap to go specifically. Next flag ends the race, whether it's the yellow or the checker. Seen overtime numerous times in NASCAR already this season across all 3 series, and it's the 2nd time already this weekend. Trucks had 2 overtime finishes yesterday, and we're about to have our at least first attempt added here. If a caution comes out before the white flag is displayed, then we'll do another restart. Limited times until we at least get 1 green flag lap in. What kind of a launch can Sam Mayer have? He's 2nd in points, looking to gain a lot on Justin Allgaier. He needs it. Being 79 points out of 1st for the regular season title. Allgaier out of the race. Nick Sanchez looking for a win, his 1st of his career. Green flag in the air. Sanchez spins his tires on the restart. That's going to hold Larson back a little bit. Hill is looking to the inside of Sam Mayer for the lead into the 1st turn. Sanchez with a 2nd win. Quickly went 3 wide to the outside, but that doesn't work for him. He's going to lose ground. And Austin Hill struggled to get through the middle of the corners. He gets air loose from the 54 of Taylor Gray. Spin! 1 car against the outside wall. Again, it's Jeremy Clements, and the caution's out. And we will have a 2nd overtime for the 2nd consecutive day as Clements has hit hard in the turn 2 wall with the back of his race car. Mayer holds on to the lead. Larson got to 2nd at the time of the caution. which means he's probably going to be on the front row now, and Sam Mayer and his chances of winning this race are getting smaller and smaller as Larson gets closer and closer to the front. Well, now we're going more than 2 laps past the scheduled distance, and for the second consecutive day, we will go into a second overtime at Texas. First in the truck race and now in the Xfinity race here today. And 11 cautions in both races as well. Last night a 250-mile distance, today 300 miles. Originally scheduled at least, obviously going past that. Went 7 laps past the scheduled distance in the truck race. Probably another lap or 2 more than that at least by the time this track gets cleaned up and we get another restart in. That was a big hit for Clements. Remember, it was Sam Mayer that costed Kyle Larson a win at Homestead in the Xfinity Series at the time of a caution. It's what made Larson spin the tires on a restart while restarting in the lead and on the front row late. He's getting hit from behind before he had tried to launch the car through the restart zone, spun the rear tires as a result, lost several spots, never got back to the lead in those final 2 laps, and now it's Mayer and Larson on the front row here today against one another at Texas just a few weeks later. Mayer still in search for his first win of the season. Larson for his second and just his 3rd Xfinity start. Doc, welcome to the stream. All day hardly knows. I wouldn't say that. We've had cautions all day. We've had 11 yellows today. It's been very caution-filled. Stage 2 didn't really have a lot, really none at all in Stage 2. Everything has happened Stage 1, Stage 3. We've had, 7? 1, 2, 5 cautions. We've had 5 cautions in Stage 3 alone. 2 of them in the final 10 laps. Definitely drivers losing their heads in the league going. I will never be a believer that, any of this is, rigged for one driver or another. It's hard to say it would be, too, because Kyle Larson was technically the leader when the first caution came out, setting up a late restart in the final 10 laps, and then ended up pitting, fell behind, and now we got a couple more. It is what it is. I mean, got guys wrecking, got to throw the yellow. And they're not wrecking on purpose. It seems like it sometimes with the amount of times that they end up wrecking in the lower series like this. Second time in the last 3 races we've seen more than 10 cautions in the Xfinity Series. It's the 3rd time since Martinsville in the last 5 races for the Xfinity Series we've seen more than 10 cautions. And we've definitely had more overtime finishes in the Xfinity Series on the other 2 series on the top 3 of the Truck and Cup. There's this turtle in the fish tank next to me that's, he's looking at me. I think he wants to eat me. I'm looking at it, and I walk from one fish tank to the one side of the tank to the other, and he's just following me. It's in the room I sleep, so I better be careful. I'm not messing with it. I'm just there. He doesn't like my presence. All right. Should be getting the one to go signal this time by. I would imagine it'll be Mayer on the inside, Larson on the outside. Mayer, Larson, front row. Figured it was going to be a long one when we had 3 cautions in the first 22 laps. Probably could have expected there to be double-digit yellows, and here we are. 11 lead changes. Kyle Larson does have about 25 lap fresher tires than Sam Mayer as well. Well, because it's Texas Motor Speedway specifically, Sam Mayer has at least a fighting chance here, and shouldn't get mollywopped on the restart as long as he has a good launch. We'll have to see what Larson can do. Larson has absolutely nailed the last 2 restarts, at least getting the launch through the zone. Row number 2, Nick Sanchez takes the outside of row 2. He does the same exact thing that Larson did before that, where Larson ended up taking the outside of row 2, and that's how he got to second. So we'll see if that ends up maybe working Sanchez's way. And that was even after Sanchez spun the tires on the restart, though, too. Larson doesn't spin his tires on the restart. I don't know if Sanchez is going to be able to get that kind of track position back on his own. All right, here we go. Second overtime. Mayer versus Larson, and then everybody else. And 20 cars on the lead lap. Carson Kvapil actually got the free pass at that last caution. He's been a lap down for most of the day. I think he was actually 2 laps down at one point. But he's now back on the lead lap at 20th. Crowd on their feet on the front stretch at Texas Motor Speedway. Pace car holds and now heads to pit road. When will Mayer launch in the restart zone? He goes early. Green flag back in the air. No push from behind for the 41 until we get to the second kink of the dog leg, and it only got him loose as he enters the first turn. Larson on the outside more steady. He didn't get a push from behind, and Larson's got the lead off of turn 2. One car slides against the outside wall. It's Nick Sanchez. As he comes off of the wall, everybody evades to the inside, and Sanchez goes backwards into turn 3. We do stay green. Still green, exiting turn 4, side by side for second between Mayer and Gray. Gray on the inside is clear for second at the start-finish line. White flag, 1 lap to go. Larson's got a half a second advantage, if not more, entering turn 1 on the final lap. Down across the bottom of the racetrack is Larson wrapping the white line. Sam Mayer goes wide. He kisses the wall, and he might lose a couple positions on the final lap of the race as well. Gray is through to second. Herbst out of nowhere is up to third. And I believe Austin Hill gets past Mayer as well for 4th in the final corner. At the front of the field, though, checkered flag in the air, and Larson does it again in the NASCAR Xfinity Series as he goes 2 for 3 on the season. He had as much of a 6-second lead at one point, but albeit not a dominant performance compared to what he did at Bristol a couple weeks ago. A win is a win, and Larson does it in double overtime today at Texas. In replacement for the injured Connor Zilich. So that 88 car for the owner standings will actually get 5 more playoff points that could help them there that they wouldn't have maybe had otherwise unless Zilich had won today, but great run there for Larson. And I think that rear wheel spin by the 41 getting pushed by the 54 just before getting into the first turn was enough for Mayer to not be able to hold side by side with Larson. That was only the third time today that the car on the outside of row 1 beat the car on the bottom. First two were Justin Allgaier, the last Kyle Larson, all Junior Motorsports Chevys. Margin of victory 1.2 seconds. We went 8 laps past the scheduled distance of our originally scheduled 300 miles, 200 laps. 11 cautions, 12 lead changes, including the final one coming to the white flag on that overtime restart. We'll go through the full finishing results as soon as we get the interview from Kyle Larson, our race winner, who was on the front stretch here at Texas.
Second win in Texas for Kyle Larson in the Xfinity Series. We'll start top 5 in the Cup race here tomorrow. Let's hear from driver 88. Here's Kim.
Yeah, Adam, you mentioned his second win in the Xfinity Series at Texas, his second win in the Xfinity Series of the season. Now, this one a little bit different than Bristol. You had to work hard for this one. What was the key to surviving those late race overtime restarts?
Yeah, there was a lot of survival, I felt like, throughout that race. Just dodging some wrecks, balance we had to work on quite a bit. So it was fun. I felt like my car, though, if I could ever get to the lead, I could stretch out. I just couldn't get by Justin. He was doing a good job of just running where I needed to be. But thanks to JRM for letting me come run this thing here today. Obviously wish Connor was in the car, but it means a lot that they thought of me to call up to run this thing. So thanks to Blue Hogs Barbecue, HendrickCars.com, Chevrolet, Valvoline, everybody who helps out Hendrick Motorsports as well as JRM. So had a lot of fun today and cool to get another win here.
Kyle Larson, a winner at Texas.
5 wins this season for Junior Motorsports. 4 different drivers have gotten it done.
And today it's Kyle Larson, the first repeat winner. I guess technically he is a first-time winner for Junior Motorsports because the first 2 were for Hendrick that he would have raced for earlier this season. Needless to say, Larson the winner here today at Texas. The rest of the finishing results as follows. Taylor Gray comes home in second. Riley Herbst in third. Austin Hill fourth. Sam Mayer fell to fifth on the final lap. Harrison Burton sixth. Jesse Love seventh. Ryan Sieg eighth. Brandon Jones ninth. And Jeb Burton rounds out the top 10. Daniel Dye in 11th. Anthony Alfredo 12th. William Sawalich 13th. Parker Retzlaff 14th. And Matt DiBenedetto 15th. Corey Day 16th, Brendan Poole 17th, 18th for Sammy Smith, Carson Quapple 19th, and Nick Sanchez, who restarted on the outside of row 2, fell back to 20th in those final couple laps after he had bounced off the wall on the restart exiting turn 2. Mason Massey finishes in 21st, a lap down, same for Kyle Siegel, lap down in 22nd, Ryan Ellis 23rd, Blaine Perkins 24th, Joey Gase 25th, Mason Maggio in 26th, and Dean Thompson 3 laps down in 27th, same for Josh Balicki in 28th, Nick Lights 4 laps down in 29th, and Garrett Smithley 7 laps down, finishing in 30th. Jeremy Clements DNF from the race today. Captain Lake finished the race, but 8 laps down in 32nd. Chris Wright finished in the 33rd position, 9 laps down. And then 34th on back, also DNF'd. So in total, we ended up having 6 DNFs. Leland Honeyman finishes 34th. Justin Allgaier 35th and does get the Xfinity Fastest Lap Award. Sheldon Creed in 36th, Josh Williams 37th, and Christian Eckes rounds out our 38-car field. Eckes had an engine failure all the way back at stage 1 in this one. So that is going to finish up today's live commentary stream of the NASCAR Xfinity Series Andy's Frozen Custard 300 at Texas Motor Speedway. We will be live again next Saturday for a doubleheader. NASCAR Cup Series practice and qualifying, and I believe the start time for that will be at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. So again, 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Saturday afternoon next week, and then followed by the Truck Series race, which will be 7:30 p.m. Eastern that same Saturday night. Cup Series action continues on the channel at Kansas Speedway next weekend as well. Not sure on the start time of that race off the top of my head. So let me take a quick second to look at that. Once more, a reminder, I'll be at the NASCAR Cup race tomorrow at Texas, so that's why there's no live commentary stream there. And of there will be race highlights from the grandstands in replacement of no Cup Series live commentary stream for the second race. Second consecutive race specifically. So Kansas Speedway, we're looking at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. 2:30 p.m. Eastern next Sunday for our pre-race coverage for the Advent Help 400 at Kansas. And as far as tomorrow's race at Texas, I know we won't be live streaming that on the channel, but that will start at 3:30 p.m. for those of you wondering, Eastern Time, 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Thanks all for watching throughout the course of this weekend's live commentary streams between last night and then the two races we had here today. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. 95 is where we're at right now. We did get to our goal of 50, but this would be the fourth consecutive stream for the Xfinity Series races specifically that we would have gotten to 100 likes on the channel. So be sure to hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Usual setup will be back again next Saturday afternoon for that Cup Series practice qualifying stream, and then onward. I won't be at another race after tomorrow until Michigan in June, and that will be Cup only, and it's my home track. I could get to and from the track same day, so we're not going to have an on-the-go live commentary stream here for a minute yet on the channel, so we'll be back to our usual setup for the months to come. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your weekend. Enjoy the race tomorrow, and I'll put another community tab post up, obviously, tomorrow as well, just an update that we will not have a stream, but thanks. And I'll see you next time.